Yo, what is going on, everybody? My name is King Mexico, also known as Jesse Goku, and I am the host of the Geeks Forever podcast. And for some reason, we can't use my camera because it's not working. It's being a punk. It's being petty today. What a jackass. All right. Thank you for joining us once again on this beautiful Monday. That is right. We are 3 days post Cinco de Mayo. I didn't do crap. I'm pissed. Damn it, Asian. I counted on you and you let me down. Dude, he let me down. I'm so upset. Anyways, joining me always is the one. He runs the skinny. That's right. He is the Texas Gaming Hedgehog and an upcoming voice actor, Keyblade Sonic.
Happy 7 de Mayo, everybody.
It's Ocho, fool.
I'm so damn. Yeah, happy Monday, you guys. It is another week, another podcast, and it's really cool to join with you guys.
And also joining us is actually one of our guests that we announced, who is going to be on the podcast in a few weeks, but they decided to surprise us with their "I Eat Ass" shirt. Joining us is the upcoming, the new, hustling and bustling, upcoming rap artist who just released a song called I forgot it, but I love it. It's the one called Toxic Boyfriend or something like that. What was it called?
Psycho Perfect.
Psychic. Yeah, that is. I love it. It's really good. All right, joining us is the one Short Stack. She is her. I love her logo. It's delicious with syrup.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pancakes.
Makes you hungry, every day.
Makes you hungry.
Yeah, it does.
And joining us is the individual. They are here. They are here to join us to talk about Mini Con. They won the Best in Show Cosplay Award at the convention. That's right. They are the undisputed, reigning, defending cosplay champion of the world, Eggcosplay.
You guys are too much.
I mean, that's what we do.
It's
here.
what we do.
We are the chaotic. Oh, we got some comments in. Hello from Pachinko and.
Thank you, everyone, for the comment.
And I don't know how to say your last name, Deacon. I always call you Poncho for some reason. I don't know. I'm so proud of you. Aww.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. So was it WeebCon or was it Mini Con? Because I feel like I screwed up the podcast.
Oh no. So I just won 3 awards at 3 conventions, one right after the other.
That's cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
WeebCon. I was actually at WeebCon a few weeks ago.
Oh, you were? Did you see the contest?
Yes, I did see a part of it. I had to leave before the results and all that, but I saw yours and it was like incredible. It was like, wow, that's phenomenal.
I'm glad. I still haven't seen the official video of it yet. They're still working on it, but
yeah.
I really want to see how the crowd reacted to that dead body prop I was carrying. Because I could hear y'all, but
it's probably gonna look good on film. I will say that.
I want to see it now. That sounds cool.
Yeah. If we ever find it, we'll probably drop it on the Discord.
That's right. Yeah, we will. We'll definitely drop it on Discord. All right. Before we begin, do we have anything for the skinny? Just anything real quick, because we do have a major announcement to make. It is actually a very serious topic that we got to address.
At this point, might as well that would be the skinny. I'll just hand over the skinny duties to Goku this week.
That's right. So the skinny is going to be a shorty. So for those of you that aren't aware, Jose Casabona of the Ravens Flock. They run a podcast on YouTube, very popular, very controversial, very awesome. Jose Casabona's Facebook has been hacked. That's right. So unfortunately, they hacked into his profile, and they are now asking for people. Like the hacker was pretty much asking people to donate money. And hold on, sorry guys, I got an important message. So pretty much what happened was they are asking people for money. This guy's going around asking people for $100, $500, up to $1,000, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is messed up. This is horrible. Like, he's one of our good friends. He's been on the show multiple times. He's even on other shows. He's worked with Zeros to Heroes. He's worked with us at Geeks Forever. And they're asking for money. But, I explained to everybody before the podcast started, I was kind of offended. The guy automatically knew I was broke and only asked me for $50 or whatever I could spare. I was like, you son of a bitch.
It's like he knew.
He knew, bro. He looked at my account. It's like, bro. He's like, do you need money? I'll send you money. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's just something to look out for, guys. Jose Casabona has made a new Facebook account.
Yeah, quick PSA.
Facebook is going to just bunch of policies. They have thousands of
Uh
followers.
oh.
Oh,
Oh
we
yeah.
got audio.
Oh no.
Lost audio. We got buzzed audio. Oh no.
Oh no. The bees.
So I did turn down. It's okay. So just keep an eye out if Jose Casabona made another profile. If they're asking you for money, don't believe it. And remember, and this is how, if somebody's messaging you, hey, can you help me out? I need to get into my profile. I'm gonna have them text your phone number, a code. Can you give me that code? Don't
Yeah.
fall for that, because that's how they actually get into your account.
Actually, one easy way to know if they got hacked or something like that, just ask them when's my birthday,
I don't.
and
bro.
they immediately ignore it. They don't.
And that's even crazier because I had a situation happen like that, and they used my friend's video call. So I straight up thought it was them with the video call. Like, these hackers are getting smart. They're using like video footage from like a video like on their Facebook. It's getting insane now.
Look, I don't trust anybody. I count my money when I take it out of the ATM. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So let's talk about our guest today, because they are the undisputed reigning defending Best in Show Masters Award cosplaying champion of Texas. That
Yeah.
is right. They are the Roman Reigns. So we need everybody
To
to
acknowledge them.
acknowledge Egg Cosplay.
Drop your ones up in the air.
Drop your ones. My camera's not on, but yeah, drop the ones.
Drop the ones. Drop the ones.
So how does, let's talk to us about that. Like, you have won back-to-back awards. We're talking Masters, Best in Show. Like let's talk about that a bit. And then we actually have some pictures of your cosplay, of one of your cosplays, and we're going to share that as well. But let's tell us about how long have you been cosplaying? When did you start?
So I actually started back in 2018 in my senior year of college.
Mhm.
So I've been about 5 years.
That's not long at all.
That's really cool. That's impressive.
That's
Thank you.
holy hell. That's not, yeah, that's not long at all. So we do have one of these. We have this one. So can you tell? Okay, so I'm so sorry. I have no idea who this character is. I just
So
really like the look.
Thank you. So this is Alice from Alice Madness Returns in her
I knew
Hysteria mode. Which, it's a video game. If you ever play it, when you hit a certain level on the health bar, she goes into this mode where every time you hit the enemy,
Hysteria. Yeah.
it regains your life points. And it's a really interesting effect to actually see it on the screen. And it's such a fun costume to do. I actually put that together in about a week with no money. I spent nothing on it. It's all
Quasi
recycled
cosplay.
materials.
I'm really digging it. It looks great. You did a really good job with the paint on. So your face is painted, but your arm, that's a cover. Is that correct?
Yes. So this goes back to like old school cosplay as well. I'm not a fan of putting body paint on my hands because it transfers and there's not a lot you can do about it. I'm looking into a brand that apparently doesn't have that problem, but until I can actually afford it, those are a pair of gloves.
That's smart. Yeah.
Thank you.
Here's a better look at it. So yeah, you can tell here that it is gloves more, because in that one you can kind of tell by the seam, but it's kind of like also difficult a little bit to tell. So based on the Green Ranger helmet and the simp for powering, this is Deacon's booth, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. So yeah, so this is mini con. So we're gonna go ahead and I've never been to mini con. I know that it's run by Rick and Rick Otaku. They're vendors at a lot of the conventions. I see them all the time. I've actually so we've talked to them briefly in one of the group pages on Facebook, because they are now in control of UshiCon, which is in Round Rock,
really?
Texas. Yes. So for those of you that are not aware, UshiCon is an 18+ anime convention. It's definitely one of the longest running 18+ conventions in Texas. It's probably not the oldest, but it's one of the OG ones.
Yeah.
Before we got Ecchi Fiesta, Ecchi Expo, Ecchi someone's basement, who knows. Uh,
That's cool. 18 plus.
I
so
actually went to Ushicon in 2020 before they had to shut down.
Dang.
we were we there? Yeah, so we were there as well, but we didn't have panels.
Okay.
So I usually go to all the conventions, especially Ushicon. I usually walk around in a poncho and sombrero, blasting Mexican music, and
Respectfully.
no, I'm obnoxiously about it. I'm like, "Well, ha, 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 ha." Like, that's my thing. So I really missed Ushicon. It had been a while since they kind of stopped because of the pandemic, and then they announced that they weren't going to come back, and then I was afraid that they were just gone. But then now they're under new management, so they're coming back. So they're definitely going to be on the show at one point. Unfortunately, so as soon as we had so for those of you that aren't aware, so for Egg Cosplays, we approach Egg to be on the show to talk about Mini Con and winning best in show. And then you know what? I'm gonna start spamming Geeks 5 Ever. We're gonna start promoting, and we're gonna start getting people more aware. And then out of the blue, like we gained a bunch of followers on Instagram, and then we gained like a couple of new subscribers on YouTube, and like people have like, oh, we want to be on the show, we want to be on the show, we want to be on the show, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got me off my ass. And so no, thank you. Like you are one of the first individuals too that we approached for. Like even the logo is new. We have a new logo. We have QR codes now.
We got new
Uh,
stuff.
we got some new stuff. And no, so like thank you for agreeing to come on the show. Like first off, like yeah, your cosplays were amazing because I had actually researched you a little bit before I had
Oh no.
approached you. Because I was like, really? Like because whenever I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've been cosplaying since 2007. and
Dang.
and I don't really do it for the competitions anymore because I honestly I'm kind of old, so I don't give a shit anymore. So like, but I've never won a best in show, but I've won like judges awards, people choices awards. I've won second place. I won third place overall. I've won multiple awards, but now I just kind of cost because we run panels and we do podcasting and press. So I can kind of like as a cosplayer, people don't realize that when you enter a cosplay competition, you are stuck in the same spot for like hour. Like it could be anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours
Oh yeah.
waiting to go on a stage, and you're sweating. Someone forgot to put on deodorant. Someone's cosplay's falling apart while waiting in line. Like
Mm-hmm.
somebody is like all like there are people that are dehydrating, like not drinking enough water. It's a lot of stress because it's not just going on stage that's half the battle. It's standing up for 2 hours in a line waiting to go on stage for a
Yeah.
cosplay that was only meant to be worn for like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Also having to deal with like the anxiety and the stage fright. You know, some people
Oh
would have
yeah.
stage fright. Even some who like would even know that they have stage fright. As soon as they get up at that stage, they like freeze. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that does tend to happen.
So like the first time I went on stage was in front of a crowd of like 200-300 people, and I was dancing Thriller as Naruto, and I started shaking. Like I was shaking before I went on stage.
Mm.
It was oh man. They asked me if I was okay. I looked like I was gonna have an anxiety. I was having an anxiety attack, and I didn't realize it. But like that brings me to my question. So when did you first started like when you started cosplaying? What made you get into the cosplay competitions? Like what was the thing that said you know what I want to go on stage and strut my stuff like pose pose
So
pose.
it's actually kind of a funny story. So I'd been wanting to cosplay ever since I knew cosplay was a thing. I mean, I started watching anime back in, late elementary school. So you're talking 2005, 2006.
Mm.
And it wasn't until 2018 that I really, by that time, you have a job, you're working, you have money. And my professor for my capstone class told us that, hey, if you wear a costume on Halloween, whoever wins the class contest will get 5 extra points on their final. And to give an idea of what that class was like, I wrote an over 100 page paper to pass that class. That's a senior capstone for you. And I won, and I was dressed as Mettaton from Undertale. It had been the first costume that I'd actually really made. and it was made out of like paperboard and paint, and I put it together, in between finals. And I was walking around the campus, and this other student runs up and says, "Oh my gosh, I love your costume. We're having this little first time convention in our city library. You should really come and compete." And so I did. And that was my first convention. That was my first contest. I got best in show.
What year was
Nice.
this?
That was 2018.
Oh wow! So
That's amazing.
It's a bit of
that's
a double
really cool.
sword, but
So okay, so you've been cosplaying for so you said for 5 years.
about
You so you've already won 3 major awards. That is more
8.
8. Well, is it 8 in a row? Or is it 3 in a row?
So it's 3 this year, 8 total.
Okay, so because Deacon was saying it was back to back, so is it 3 just for the year, or was it like were the 3 back to back?
So I won at, yeah, I did 3 conventions back to back, and I won at all 3 of them.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
Yeah, that's incredible.
Roman
That's
Reigns.
really good.
That you know how crazy that is. Like,
That's pretty much unheard of.
well, it's not unheard of, but it's like okay. So if you don't know anything about wrestling, you are the world champion right now. You're the defending champion.
Yeah.
So right now you are considered one of the best cosplayers in the state.
Am I actually?
Yeah, because you've won 3 back. You are a master.
Sometimes, I mean, I'm still getting hit with that imposter syndrome. Like, it doesn't feel real half the time. Like, I legitimately at Minicon did not think I was going to win.
Oh, trust me, I've got like when we won our Leon. What's his name? Churro.
Leon Chiro.
Chiro. Chiro. Sorry, I'm really bad with names. I keep calling him Churro, and his name's not Churro. So we won a judges award from him. I forgot what con it was, because they were doing the interview, and we were like, "Yeah, man, I made the Ninja Turtle cosplays." And he's like, "Okay." So he was talking to us, and he was like, "You know, out of all the Ninja Turtle cosplays, what the hell?" All right, hold on. Why are you? Okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. Y'all see that too, right?
What?
Okay, hold on. All right, you got to give me a minute, dude, because you got to message me. Message me what's up. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, like, there are some really good cosplayers that are like they look amazing, but they're kind of snotty. And then there are some cosplayers that are like, they look good, but their character is so on point that it's like, bro, like there's no way I can't like give this person an award. And
the acting.
yeah,
really
the acting.
in the cosplay.
So like with Leon, what he was talking to us, and then we told him like, yeah, we do this version because it's more kid friendly. Like, and he's like, oh, why do you want a kid friendly cosplay? Because when you go visit kids at the hospital and you look like a legitimate Ninja Turtle, they're gonna crap their diaper.
Aww.
So like yeah, they were made that way to be kid friendly when I used to visit the kids in the hospital, and so I think that won him over. And like when he announced that we won a cosplay award, I was like, huh? Who?
You were just like, whoa, really?
Oh, dude, I started clapping like yeah, good for them, dude. It's you. What?
Imposter syndrome right there.
No, that's how it would be sometimes too. Like even I had that experience. Even it was like something like a small little like let's say like a venue. There was a cosplay contest that I competed with my girlfriend, and we were like shocked that we won first place. Like, whoa, we won first place! Oh my god! And it's like you're just flabbergasted. It's like, oh shit,
dude. Like I even asked him why. Like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, but like it's no small feat. Like, yeah, you might like have some doubts. Like, are you sure? Are you positive? Me? But like I've seen some of your stuff, and your stuff looks great. It looks amazing. Definitely you've definitely put in the work. You haven't been around, so you're still you're not considered new, but you're also like not like one of the you're not a what we call one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but you gotta like you can't sell that stuff short though because you're like I said, your stuff is amazing. Wait, where did he go?
What?
Okay, so the audience isn't aware, but Deacon Rat was just here, and I was about to put him in the show. We just weren't.
Oh no,
I
we didn't
didn't
see that.
know that he was going to come on the show. I just because I don't just we can't just add you. I got to do an introduction and stuff, and I gotta segue you in.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
So
here because I'm here.
right. So Deacon, if you want to come on, you were on a bit. We can add you to for a few minutes if you want to come on. You're still listening, but like I was saying, so don't like. I think it's amazing. I think your work is really amazing. I think you definitely have a lot of potential. Like you're nowhere near your peak. And you're only gonna go up from here. But just like also at the same time, there are cosplayers who have been doing this just as long as I have, and they like absolutely hate my guts because some like a couple of them have never won a cosplay award, and I know this for a fact because somebody told me that they like blame me for them not winning the awards.
Mhm.
Because one person, we were at the Japanese festival like in 2013, and I won the People's Choice Award, and our friend was cosplaying from like Dynasty Warriors,
Oh
and he
yeah.
like threw a, you remember who you know who I'm talking about,
Mhm. I do.
uh, Captain Potassium himself. Oh shit, I think I just gave away who that was. Anyways, so he got mad and like started telling everybody Jesse won, and
Okay.
yeah, I was like, who cares, dude? Good for him. Like, even when I did win, I was like, once again, I was like, what? I was about to leave. I almost left as soon as I went on stage. I almost left because like, dude, I'm hot. I'm tired. I
Yeah.
already know I'm not gonna win. So like the point of the story though is that like you're only gonna go up from here, and like I don't want anybody to like discourage you from like being better because you are gonna be so much better like years from now.
Mhm.
Yeah, even although I just started cosplaying last year, like that's inspirational to know you just started 5 years ago. I only started like last year, and like I can't wait for you, especially like kick up the notch. Like put all in gear, like no holding bar.
Like basically in a sense is like stepping on the gas pedal and don't like let
Yeah.
go.
See, like, look at this picture. Especially, let me move a little bit to like this is absolutely in character. You know what you're doing, and for someone who's just getting into cosplay, like that's pretty dope. And I won like a Halloween contest, but that's because I went full on out in my Raver gear, and I didn't think that I was gonna win the contest. Like I was like, that was the last thing on my mind. But this is a player who knows what she's doing, a gamer that knows what she's doing, basically, because she's getting into like and I've played this game, which is Alice in Madness. The hysteria is definitely like the best mode to be in for this character, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it makes the dollhouse level so much easier.
So much more fun and easier.
I love that level and I hate that level.
Love hate.
The Hollow
So
Bastion vibes.
Right.
so this comment has a two-parter, and I think this is where it gets better. She won YumiCon both days back to back
In different costumes.
in different costumes.
Yeah.
Should have put the other one. Not
Yeah, my bad, my bad. I'm different
But
costumes.
yeah, but still, like that's really incredible. So I actually have a question for you. Were there any like going into it with like in a cosplay? Did you have any like concerns within yourself, like going in? It's like, oh, what if people don't know this cosplay? And then when you get there, people actually recognize you instantly.
That actually happened at Mini Minicon. I had kind of forgotten how big the news was about American Mickey not being able to make the newest game because EA won't let him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was recognized a lot more than I thought I was going to be. I usually don't worry so much about not being recognized because like the whole time I've been cosplaying, I've never really been one to cosplay something super super trendy.
Mhm.
I mean, like my most recent one that I'm working on right now is Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen, and
Oh, nice.
even by now, that show has been around for a couple of years. So I'm never on trend, and it's always kind of special when you are in something that like nobody knows, and that one person's like, "Oh my gosh, I know who you are."
Yeah.
It's so nice. I love that. But when it comes to the actual competing part, I mean, they want you to bring reference images for a reason because the judges can't know every single character, and so it
Right.
is
Exactly.
important to actually have that with you.
So actually, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's probably like a future topic. So cosplay judges, for those of you that have never entered a cosplay competition, do for the most part require reference photos, and
Mhm.
that can be a pain in the ass if you're cosplaying an OG character.
Because understand like with original OC characters, sometimes you have to like because the judges want to know like background, like context of like, oh, what's this character? It's like, okay, what is he about? What does he do? What does she do? What their backstory, etc. Because if they don't understand it, it may not be in your favor.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the
No,
right
it
way.
happens. Well, obviously, it happens a lot with me because all like Captain Mexico, like who I cosplay as Captain Mexico, is original. There is no reference photos, and most of the actual photos of the other cosplays are like the Captain America suit painted green with a sombrero.
Basically, Soldier Boy, but with
Yeah,
sombreros.
yeah. I mean, and that's kind of. I mean, I'm not knocking it because first off, I can't even find the paint that works good with like that foam where it doesn't start cracking. So I'm still
Mhm.
experimenting with that. But like, I'm not knocking it. Like cosplay, especially Captain America, that's like that suit looks like it's made out of plastic. Those things are not breathable. I can't. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever worn like every time I wear Pikachu, man, I almost die of a heat stroke. That's why that suit fell apart.
Oof. No, every time I wear any of my Metaton cosplays, I have to be I say I have to be careful. I have worn them in July, because
Oh
they're
yeah.
you're neck to toe. Not only are you in a polyester bodysuit which doesn't breathe, you've got the foam armor on top of it, and it is a lot.
Hmm.
And the one
Must
in
have
my
been
icon
pretty
right now
intense.
is like extra because it's got an extra set of arms on it, and so it's heavier than usual.
So Deacon did say, did we show this one? I don't think we showed this one yet.
No, we haven't.
No, this one's really cool.
Thank
So
you.
But and big
Deacon
props.
said that you won a best in show and you won a best masters award. Like 2 day, like one day you won the best in show and one day you won the masters award.
So at YumiCon last year, they don't. I don't know if they're doing skill categories this year. I'm still waiting on to have on my panel to be approved to see if I'm going to be able to go or not. And if my panel's approved, then I'm going to go and I'm going to compete. But they don't do skill categories like a lot of your larger contests will do.
Yeah.
But they did do prejudging, and the prejudging super important, especially if you're in a cosplay contest where they do allow purchased costumes in. Um, I have my mixed feelings about that. I don't think it's fair on either direction. It's not fair for somebody with a purchased costume to go up against somebody who has made all of theirs. And it's not exactly fair for somebody who is new to cosplaying who made their whole costume up against something that's made in a factory by people who know what they're doing.
I
It's,
guess I have
you
a
know,
question on that
yeah.
opinion because I go to like Amazon or Walmart and I find something close to that cosplay, but it's not like
Complete set.
the full suit,
Yeah.
like the full TikTok suit. You know what I'm talking about? The full TikTok suit that you can just go in, make a TikTok, and get some views. I'm more talking about like for my Louise cosplay, which I'm really excited to show y'all. My Louise Belcher. I saw a green dress on Walmart, and I was like, that's the dress I need in my life right now with this bunny hat that I bought from Hot Topic, and to put everything together, just wear black boots. So that was what I wanted to know in your opinion, because that's technically a purchase, but it's not the overall
Full set and all that.
full
Yeah.
body suit, right?
It kind of falls into a weird category. I would think it depends on the convention. I'd almost call that more of a closet cosplay,
Yeah.
which is where you bring like more normal clothing. But if you're dressing up as a character who wears normal everyday clothing, there is literally no point in paying $150 for some super cheap polyester fabric off of Amazon
Yeah.
when you could just go down, to an actual store. And I mean, you can still buy the clothes on Amazon if you want to.
Mhm.
But like because I do mentor people with cosplay from time to time, not very frequently, only when they ask. But he was going to dress as Legoshi from Beastars, and he was going to buy the uniform. And I was like, hey, that uniform costs $250. I just found every single piece on Amazon, but like actual clothing that would need very minor alterations, and it's like $120.
Yeah. Like
No, that's perfectly valid. I mean, that's resourcefulness.
Like for example, for me, like I actually cosplayed Terry Bogard from King of Fighters Fatal Fury, and all of it actually came from like uh I had like a white shirt, I had like red, all that, and most of them I got them from like thrift stores. You know what I mean? Like sometimes thrift stores very helpful, especially those like on a budget. And what I would do, I would just like alternate it, actually like sew it and all that. Instead of buying like the actual jacket, which is like 90-95 bucks, I actually made the giant star patch. I got like an extra shirt and I sewed it myself, and that came out like under 10 bucks. And that was actually pretty. It actually went pretty good. It's like one of those things where it's um, like like a closet cosplay.
Yeah,
That
I'm
pretty
with
much falls
Egg on
under it.
that one. Closet cosplays. I even, I heard like in Idaho there was like this ban that if you're not Japanese related, you're not allowed to cosplay. That's what I thought was weird too.
We covered that. Remember that, Goku?
We did.
Yeah, that
Is
was
that
that con. Remember we talked about
I
the
was in
con. That was
Idaho, yeah.
And
yeah
that's
the
so
con.
Oh,
weird because cosplay was started in the United States by Star Trek fans back in like the 70s.
Yeah,
Trekkies. Yep.
and it's kind of crazy because I do like I try to do non-anime as much as I can, like the Louise Belcher, and then like small time animes like Jahi. So it was like really weird to like hear straight up like non-anime related. It was just so crazy.
Yeah. And there's a
I've
there's a
never
lot of like. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I've never actually seen a con say no anime. I have seen, for the reasons of making prejudging easier, no OCs. I have
Yeah.
seen that.
So the actual con itself, just for some clarification, is strictly anime. They only
Okay.
want anime. So
Yeah,
they don't want.
I might
They don't
have.
want they don't want no Marvel, no DC. It has to be
Yeah.
purely anime, manga too. So basically, it has to be straight from like Japanese source material or something like that.
And it can't
Um,
even be video games, I think.
yeah, not and it's not for the contest. It's for the whole con in general.
That,
Yeah.
from a marketing standpoint, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
That sounds gatekeeping, basically. No way.
Actually, it backfired on them because people have been criticizing them for it.
And they kind of like
It's like,
backtracked a
it's like
bit.
the Fire Festival of cons right now, really.
Yeah,
I
the Dash
would
Con.
argue that's a different convention, but we don't have to talk about that.
Right? No,
Yeah,
no, yeah, we're
it's
good.
okay.
So you're good on that in front. But just to share, so uh, yeah, so it was the anime convention. They were very strict on the no. So it wasn't just for the cosplay competition itself. It was for the convention as a whole. You
Mhm.
were not allowed to cosplay outside of anime genre in the convention. If you were, they would not allow you entry into the convention itself if you cosplayed anything other than anime. I think they weren't very clear as to you had to be in cosplay or not, and their excuse was that this is an anime convention. If you're coming here, then you need to be an anime fan. Otherwise, you can go to any other
Mhm.
Comic Con or whatever convention or anywhere else.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
kind of curious, if I may hop in. Sorry, Carlos. If it was like to kind of destroy the furries, because I do see a lot of more furry conventions.
I don't think so. What it was just basically mostly they were just like, oh, anime in general, it has to be just purely anime and all that stuff. And it's like, and then the other thing too was that they were doing, oh, you had to buy a 3-day pass only. You can't buy 1-day passes and all that. And then someone made this argument, it's like, okay, what if I work on Fridays? I can only go Saturday, Sundays. Well, you still have to buy a 3-day pass regardless. I'm like, okay.
Right.
That's
So
a no for me.
we
Yeah.
covered it, and they
Mhm.
were just like, so the way they worded it. So and we tried to play devil's advocate with them. The way they worded it, it just came off as petty. Like, oh, by the way, like, and it's the way the individual wrote it too. Is like, I'm an anime fan, and because I only like anime, you can only cosplay anime. Uh, Unfortunately, this is a so any other anime convention, it is a business. I know
Yeah.
people like to see anime conventions or comic cons as like their own personal like getaway hangout to where it caters to them and their every need. But at the end of the day, these are businesses, and these businesses have to make a profit to continue to exist. Otherwise, they're not going to be around for very long. And when you shun an entire community of because cosplay, even even with the anime boom and the sudden rise of and anime cosplay, like anime conventions have never been strictly anime,
Hmm.
and anime conventions that do try to be strictly anime, just I mean, I'm sorry, but they're just not that successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even Anime Expo, like the biggest anime convention in the North America, they do like allow like other cosplays, not just anime. They allow like Marvel, they allow DC, they allow games. They encourage that. They do like meetups. Like, hey, if you want to sign up for meetups, here you go. You know, you can put any meetups you want. You know, and I've seen so far this year they've already had DC, they already have Marvel, they already have gaming, they already have Nintendo and all that stuff. And look at them, they're like one of the like I said, the most one of the most successful, well known conventions.
Hmm. No, that's right. That's right. And I think it's so just going back to it, and it just came off, and you have to have read it for yourself, because we did read it, and it just came off as completely petty, like almost temper tantrum, like
I would say controlling because that's what it is straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like
That's
call it what it is.
That's the kind of thing where you'd get a bunch of people to roll up dressed as the Powerpuff Girls because there is a Powerpuff Girls anime just to
Mhm.
annoy people.
Yeah.
right, absolutely, yeah, exactly. So with that being said, I mean, okay, so we're gonna ask you a serious question. This is a make or break this interview
Yeah.
question. So I hope you're ready. Like, this is we're gonna be hitting you with those hard questions that you might have to tell us. Now, I don't feel comfortable answering. What is your favorite anime?
Um, honest, like of all time or right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, honest, like of all time.
My favorite anime of all time is the 1990s version of Sailor Moon.
All right, interview's over. All right, thanks for being here. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. That's actually a really good choice. I actually like that. I actually like that. I was kind of afraid you were gonna say something like, "Oh, Boruto." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm definitely leaving."
So is
David,
it the
huh?
Dick voice acting, or is it the
The Toonami one.
Tsunami one? Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's
the
two
old
voice acting.
school,
Okay, cool. Because
like showed on Cartoon Network for kids censoring. That I mean that Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh were the anime that I watched before I knew they were anime.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
definitely
that's
Dick Entertainment for sure.
yeah, that was those the Deke era.
Deek, Deek, whichever way to pronounce it.
Yeah, they said Deke. It was Deke and not Dick.
Yeah, but you know, people are stupid. They'll still say Dick.
Dick,
I was like 6. I couldn't pronounce the accent at the time.
Mom,
Yeah,
I
even
want to watch Dick.
yeah, even though how many times we hear like the little voiceover in the end of like the credit, they go Deke, and it's like we still say Dick.
So, like, that's kind of crazy because I never saw that logo until I was like older. And I like, did he? It said Deke, right? But it
Yeah.
spells Dick like the pin. I was like, I didn't think of it like Dick,
Hmm.
but like, I was like, what the hell is this? And then Four Kids was a thing. But like most of the anime we watched, so Sailor Moon was around in Mexico,
Hmm.
and Sailor Moon in Mexico was completely uncensored. Like the dub was in
So you
Spanish
got
was
the
a
so you actually got the Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus spit
Yep.
uncensored.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I was kind of weird when they said that they were like cousins. I was like, they aren't
Yeah,
cousins.
We all knew at early 2000s they weren't cousins.
I ain't kissing my
Yeah.
cousin like that. I'm
yeah, and the censorship in that show was just so dumb. Like they removed the so if you look at a Sailor Moon costume, there's a seam on the underbust because the top part appears to be padded, and they took that seam out, and it's really annoying to find reference images, and all you're finding are the old clips of it, and it's like, where is this very clearly important structural seam, and why did you remove it?
You got to watch it in Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
they
watched
do.
German.
Yeah, and it's even more crazy to think they still do that to today's cartoons. Like Steven Universe was definitely one of those controversial dance moves that they had to do different. in
Yeah,
different
they had
regions.
to cut some like trim it a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you watch Sailor Moon. That's one of your favorite animes of all time. So, out of all the anime that you're currently watching, and it doesn't have to be anime; it could be anything that you're watching. What is something that you are currently watching that you absolutely want to cosplay from because you love it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Um, so right now I'm only really watching Stranger Things, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen, and I have cosplays from all three of them.
Hey,
Hey, to
hey,
Stranger Things.
hey.
Stranger Things,
I got 2
Eddie
out of 3.
cosplay. That
Which
way.
Yeah, I
you did an
cosplayed
Eddie
Eddie.
cosplay?
Yeah, I did Eddie,
It's a really good one too.
and I was shocked how much it blew up to like people were like, "Oh my god!" Like I did so in October, like Instagram, people were doing like, "Oh, this cosplay a month challenge" and all that, and there was like, "Hey, do a TikTok or like a reel," and I did one. It was like I transitioned from like myself, and then I went straight to Eddie, and they're like, "Dude, what the hell? That looks so good." I'm
That
like,
tongue
"Oh."
works at all. I think that's what sells me is yeah.
Yeah, and then like people like recognize me and all that stuff, and then I've actually had a couple of people cosplaying like Chrissy, and they were like, oh my god, we do like a little collab and all that." And then with Demon Slayer, I've done Tanjiro, and like that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I've done. Pretty much my go-to cosplay the
Mhm.
last year.
The Demon Slayer costumes, I mean, I guess unless you're dressed as Mitsuri, they're surprisingly comfortable.
They are, yeah.
Very flowy. They have to
Oh yeah.
be.
I am kind of like, I don't know. I don't really like It's not that I don't like Demon Slayer. Okay, so we were at Anime Houston,
Hmm.
and there was a group of Demon Slayer cosplayers that just kind of pissed me off.
Oh yeah, they were
Oh
doing it. Was it
no.
the like they were doing like circus performances and
Yeah,
stuff?
they were doing all kinds of tricks and shit. And
Okay, so it for me, like it was fine doing it, but the place they were doing it, it was like, okay, dude, this is actually meant for like a lounge, and you're just like pretty much occupying the whole thing.
so
Like if
they
you're
Yeah.
gonna do
blocked an entire hallway, and it wasn't just a hallway. It
it was
was
the
the
entrance.
hallway that led to one of the sky bridges, which was the entrance to one of the garages. To get
What? That's
Yeah.
so
How did they get away
rude.
with that? Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
most conventions say in their rule list, if you block a hallway and don't move, they're going to kick you out. Like
I
that's a
almost
that's a
went full.
safety hazard.
It is. I almost went full Mexican on him. Like the con itself, like
The
they didn't
sombrero is
know.
off.
Like I had my chancla in my hand. I was ready to start chunking it.
Oh no.
The infinite chocolate.
The
It
thing
was
of
no,
those
and seriously, it
chanclas.
wasn't like it was an infinity chancla. It was a
Let's
chancla that
go.
I painted it gold, and I put the infinity gems on it, and they lit up. And I was
Hmm.
about to chunk it at them because they had pissed. It was Sunday. I was tired. I was hungry. My body was sore. I wanted to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
cart full of shit. Like I was pissed.
Yeah, and then but like all like at the same time, like I said, like I know those people, and like it's fine doing their performance and stuff, but like don't block or occupy like a place that's not meant for you guys. If they're not meant for you to be there, don't do it there. If you're gonna do it like
That's like doing the BLM on a highway. You could have like killed somebody because you just stopped a whole highway.
It
Yeah.
was they were very inconsiderate. So that's my experience with like other than that, I don't have anything bad to say about Demon Slayer or cosplayers or in general. It's just that one particular group that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that.
But like
Yeah.
they are so we have you okay, so as far so here's a question, and I have a question, and this is one that you don't really have to answer, it's fine. But Deacon Rap has talked about it. I have talked about it. Everyone has talked about this subject. Do you, as of right now, are you aware that you have any haters?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wow, that was
I
quick.
mean, it happens. I used to get a lot of flack on TikTok for my glasses,
Oh,
and
What?
then
it's
yeah,
always
and then
TikTok.
I get a lot of, and it's really annoying. Metaton isn't a girl, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Wait. Stop. Hold on. Hold on. Okay.
Gender check apparently.
What the? Okay. So the glasses aren't part of the cosplay.
no, I have to wear glasses to see, and I'm allergic to contacts.
What
Mm.
the fuck? The glasses actually make it better though.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I've
holy
had to learn
shit!
to.
I thought that was part of the actual cosplay.
Nope, nope. I have had to learn to like move makeup and like. So I have a Gyutaro. If I can get a picture to send to you, I'll send it real quick. But
Okay.
on Gyutaro, when I do that cosplay, I have to move the makeup down lower
Mhm.
on the face because my glasses cover up where it's supposed to be. I can just like send you the picture on Discord real quick.
So I wouldn't like honestly. Those people
That's
can.
so messed up, though.
Yeah, those people can eat shit. Honestly.
Yeah,
And
Like you're allergic to something that could enhance a cosplay. That's your health on the line. You're not gonna.
Yeah, it's beyond like it's not in your control, you know. It's like it's just some people just don't understand, unfortunately. It's just even though you try to explain to them, they'll still be stubborn as hell and they'll be like, "Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
still." Yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it
like
has to be
it
TikTok too.
works. It works. I'm looking at this and it just works. I like it.
thank
I
you.
don't know. They're full of shit. I mean, honestly, like, and that's the thing though, and I don't get that. Why are they giving you shit? And I guarantee you, these are the same people that like are like simping or like buying booty flavored water from people that are like cosplaying characters that like they're like I have nothing against people that are covered in tattoos. Obviously, I love tattoos and stuff like that. But like there are people that like they cosplay characters that don't have any tattoos, but they're covered in tattoos themselves, and
Mhm.
people love them because it's unique. It adds to the character, and they will buy their booty flavored water in a cup for $1,000. But like the fact that somebody's giving you shit because you have to wear glasses.
Oh, and it was worse before I lost weight too.
What?
I got a lot of flack before that. People are weird.
Yeah.
So, oh, there's my Gyutaro. So,
Yeah,
if
that's a
you
good
look at
one.
his picture, the makeup on his face or the spots are in different spot. That's
Okay.
another one that I spent very, very little money on making. I think I spent like maybe $12 on the whole thing. I try to keep for most of my projects my budget pretty low, so that I have money to spend on bills and stuff that I have to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I'm actually working on a cosplay right now, and it's like I actually like thinking in my head, it's like, okay, how much have I spent so far?
Shit, I get it too. I get it. Poor, we poor. Like I'm like honestly, I'm always on this show, I'm always making jokes about being poor. Like, oh, bro, you know what I did for lunch? I walked around the mall and ate free samples. Like,
I mean, that's
it's
what I was
like,
doing at Costco.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what I'd
And
be
then
doing.
and then like I'm always like on this show. There's always like there's like a drinking game now for the podcast. Like, oh, take a shot every time Jesse admits Goku. I mean, not Jesse. Uh, Goku admits that he did a crime, especially at Walmart. Oh, like how much did you spend on the cosplay? Not much. I stole the material.
oh geez.
4 finger
I mean,
discount.
I borrowed Walmart. It was
And then
Borrowed
borrowed.
shout
I
out
was
Walmart.
to
gonna
the
return it.
comment below. She didn't have any haters. She isn't cosplaying correctly. I
Yep.
feel that for real.
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
That
Keyblade Sonic, you know for real. We talked about this every freaking time I see you. I'm like, man, stop with the hate. Like you're just cosplaying with your boo on a good day, and then people just hating. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically it's that classic saying, just add to the comments. If you got haters, you must be doing something right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some of it, honestly, especially with TikTok, is you've got a lot of really, really young people
Yeah.
who aren't super well versed in acting like human beings. Let's be real; they
Yep.
don't know how. They don't know, and I see this with like adults as well, where they have this very like purest idea of the way a character is supposed to be, and then like any cosplay that deviates from that, they start having a problem with.
I feel that.
Gen Z does do a lot of it, but that's because they're really young, and you can only fault somebody for because of them being young to a point. The fully grown adults, like the dude that raged in my Instagram inbox over my Eddie cosplay, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like a dude had a meltdown in my Instagram DMs because of my Eddie Munson cosplay because I was dressed as a girl version and I had blue eyeshadow on.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you've ever seen anything from the 1980s, it was blue eyeshadow with everything.
Yeah, really. What? Wow.
Yeah.
People just don't do the research before they call you out, do they?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
It's like at least come up with something creative.
No, yeah, no, creativity is definitely one of the biggest aspects to cosplay because you have to add especially if you have like glasses, tattoos, you have like maybe a disability, whatever the case may be, you have to adding a spin to it, a creative spin is what sometimes puts you above the rest. Like I saw somebody in a wheelchair and they cosplayed what is the machine from Doctor Who that says exterminate?
Oh, a Dalek?
Yes, they cosplayed they put the entire cosplay around like the wheelchair so they could move around.
That is so cool.
Yeah, even there was a cosplayer who did Professor X from X-Men, and they made the wheelchair look like the
chair from the show.
Yeah, from the animated series, and it looked really cool because a lot of people know X-Men because of the '90s animated series that was on Fox.
Mm-hmm. I think like fucking like it's so stupid. Like obviously everyone's gonna get haters. Like the more successful you are, the more haters you're gonna get, and there's nothing wrong with that. But people can just be fucking stupid. Like
I gave a heart to the Eddie Munson female concept. That was great.
So, like, one of our episodes of the dark side of the community is actually about cyberbullying because what our guests, I'm not going to say who or what, but they came to me and they were talking about how they're being cyberbullied by like this ridiculous, petty 19-year-old. This 19-year-old is just attacking them constantly. This 19-year-old or 20-year-old
That
is
is
constantly going out of their way, and they're making fake accounts, like just to attack my guest.
Yeah.
That is harassment at that point. Like that,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that legally qualifies as harassment.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And there was another incident I knew recently about like a cosplayer I knew. They were like doing stuff on TikTok. They were doing like lives and stuff, and suddenly they got doxxed live on TikTok.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah, and it's like you can do very, very. And if you want to show people my Eddie Munson, I did actually send it through the Discord.
Actually, I just uploaded them, so they're ready to go.
Oh, nice.
So
and then also a bigger shot of what I have in my icon, because that's one I'm particularly proud of, because that is a remake of one of I think the third cosplay I ever did, and it is a huge improvement. And it is one of the ones that won at YumiCon last year. That one.
Oh wow!
And far away, you can't see the fishing line holding the second set of arms up, and so it's fun to walk around a convention. People like, what's going on? It's amazing.
So yeah, I gotta respect the hustle. Like cosplay, being creative, trying to figure out ways to save a dollar because stealing is bad. Respect the hustle, and I definitely dig it. Like I love your work. Legitimately, this is
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Yeah,
I love it,
that's
and
what
I don't see the hate. And like, here's the thing though: when I was a cosplay guest, I had this rule. I was a cosplay guest for Kamikaze Con back in 2010 in Texas.
Yeah.
And all right, when I went to go judge, I would tell people, all right, so I want you to introduce your character to me in character while telling me how you made your cosplay. Like they had to be in character the entire time I was like reviewing their cosplay and talking to them. And there were like legitimate people who were like, there was one couple, they did Han Solo and Leia. The only problem is that their cosplay was store bought,
Yeah.
but they were like the best when it came to being in character. They were like second to none when it came to character. And I was just like, bro, this is so good. And I'm obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. I'm not on camera right now, so nobody can see my background, but my entire background is covered in Dragon Ball. It's all Dragon Ball figures. Like I have like so many that it's you might think of like I'm like a super weave or something like that. So I got into an argument with the head cosplay guest. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna give my judges award to the Han Solo and his girlfriend. No, you can't do that. They store bought it, yeah, but it's a judges award, not a
Yeah.
craft. It's not a craft award. I'm not giving him the damn best in show. We got into a big argument over it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you. These are the ones that we picked that we believe deserve the award. I'm like, I'm not giving it to one of your fucking friends. And that was one of the issues we used to have in the community back in this like
Favoritism.
dark ages. Yeah, there were a
Yeah.
lot of people that constantly won awards over and over and over because they had friends who were the judges and they would give them the awards. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore because that has become more open. It backfired. People don't like that shit. And
Yeah.
like it's very rare. Like it's not rare, but it's not very common to see somebody win back to back to back. And like we know for a fact that you don't have friends because I researched it.
No,
Actually,
don't.
I mean, I am friends with a couple of people who have
That's-
judged me before, but never anybody who's handed me an award.
when I said that, I didn't mean it the way I did. I'm so
No,
sorry.
you're good. You're
No,
Yeah,
but I
he
meant-
should have worded that better.
You know what? Just
I'm sorry. I'm the one who laughed out. Like,
You're
oh,
okay.
look.
Uh,
My name is Captain Mexico. Just be happy I speak English, okay? I could have came on this show like taco taco burrito burrito. But no, like that's impressive. That's amazing because you did it. Like your cosplays look great. You look amazing. Like the glasses, I don't see a problem with the glasses. As a matter of fact, I thought the glasses, except for Eddie, because I do watch Stranger Things. But like I legitimately thought the glasses were part of this, like,
And I
this
mean-
because it plays off very well.
yeah, I guess it's the shape of the frames and the fact that they're a dark color that it kind of blends in with it.
Mhm.
Because I had been told by a couple of people, it took them watching a couple of my TikToks to realize I had glasses on.
Mhm.
And it's really fun when I use my ring light with like Metaton because he's a robot. That ring that's around my iris looks very robotic, and so that's always a fun effect.
Yeah, it's a cool visual. Like when you see that, it's like it makes it look. People would think, "Oh, is that like contacts or something like that?" Because sometimes most people don't know about like the ring lights and all that.
Your
Yeah.
cosplay reminds me of the one that I did, honestly, and I want to redo it. It's this one. We still have a photo of it.
Oh wow,
Oh, Megazord, yeah.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
let's go.
I have actually never won an award with this one.
How?
I don't because the competition was really no. I honestly, you know what? I don't even know if I actually icked around in it and just like in this photo,
You probably just got tired, drained.
Walter and David called me over for the photo. I didn't plan on taking a photo with them. They just called me over. Like the guy in the green shirt paid for the photo, and
Oh wow.
they called me over and he just gave me a copy of it for free.
That's cool.
But
That is
like with this
cool.
cosplay, it's completely like I can respect the cost cutting because this one is completely cardboard, so it fell apart after like an hour of wearing it.
Oh.
So like it's cardboard, and I think it took me about 2 weeks to make it. Employed at the time, so I had the time to work on it for 2 weeks straight. But like that's
looks
why I
great.
really like this one because it
you.
kind of reminds, but on a better scale because yours doesn't look like it's gonna fall apart the minute you start sweating.
Yeah, it's EVA foam, and I'm very picky about the glues that I use. Glue is very important when you start making your own costumes. If you don't use the right glue, and if you live in Texas, hot glue is the wrong glue in every situation. Do not use it.
Oh,
Oof, I hot glue
absolutely.
everything.
So
I hot
now
glue
we-
everything.
So now
Hot
we
glue
have.
resoftens at just over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and so if you're walking outside in Texas, good luck.
So now I have a huge question as a cosplayer. What are your top 3 emergency kits like you need, like especially glue, like what in the brand you use? Because this is obviously an effective cosplay. It's probably, how many times have you worn this one? I think like 2 to 3 times.
Including TikToks, about 25.
Okay, so this holds up very like grand.
Mhm.
The only part of it that I've ever actually had to reattach is the joint where one of the arms meets the side, and that's only because it's constantly moving around, and the stress will pull it away. And that's just something that happens. Eventually, the stress of wearing the costume is going to get to it. For me, as a cosplay emergency kit, I mean, hot glue works in a pinch, but especially if you're about to go on stage, where, I mean, the human body is what, 97 to 98 degrees normally? You're in a costume, so your temperature's already elevated. You're nervous. That makes it worse. And then there's stage lights overhead. It's a recipe for disaster. Duct tape, sewing pins, one of those tiny sewing kits you can get from the craft store or online. Like,
I got one.
Represent.
I got one.
A miniature version of your makeup kit, and ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen? Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
So I use hot. I feel so stupid now because I use hot glue for everything. But here's the thing, though. I sweat so much into my cosplay that it cools the glue as it's heating up.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for holding on detail stuff, but if it's on anything that's going to have to take a lot of wear and tear, hot glue is also not very flexible. Where
Oh, absolutely not. No.
like
No,
what I
it's
use
not.
on mine,
I agree.
yeah, what I use on mine is barges and wood weld, which are they're contact cement, so they are meant to be flexible after their curing period, which is nice. Barges is better, but barges is more expensive. If you are getting into cosplay and you are using barges or wood weld, please work outside. You will destroy your lungs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Yes.
Or
Yes.
just also like wear like a mask also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
But
still
you
gonna
can
do it
outside.
outside.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
gonna do it outside.
Still, right.
Like
and then,
so.
And also too, like there's cons out there where they have like cosplay repair people. There's people who have like signs say, "Hey, cosplay repair." And they'll
Yes,
do like
the
quick
cosplay
ones.
reparents.
Always
I love those.
ask. Always ask. It never hurts to ask. Like if you're in a situation where like, oh man, I need to get something. I need to get this like sewn in. They're there to help you. That's what they're there for.
Oh, yeah.
Never always ask. That's what they're there for.
They're usually backstage for a lot of contests nowadays. They were backstage at WeebCon, and it was wonderful to have them back there.
Yeah, they were. I saw that.
I
They were, like, really helpful.
remember when that cosplay repair thing first started, there was only one person that went to all the cons. And now it's like there's at least 1 or 2 per con now. And it's never like the same person.
And there's even some conventions like have like rooms dedicated to cosplay repair. Like they actually provide like supplies and all that.
I've considered asking to put up a cosplay repair booth. I think Kawacon had one.
Anime Expo, they have one too.
That doesn't surprise me. I think the big ones like New York City Comic Con also has one. But at that point, you kind of need something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the bigger mainstream conventions, they do have them. New York, I do know that they have one for sure, but
Yeah,
it's
they do.
like not as like
Massive. This is like
well, it's the cosplay repair at that convention. It's not as sought out, like not like Anime Expo or San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
Because New York is more of a toy show. New York is the toy show of conventions because that's where they debut a lot of the new stuff from Hasbro and Mattel and.
Oh yeah.
NECA and all that.
Yeah, so that's where like a lot of the like the toy stuff goes to get debuted, because that's where they would debut all the Power Ranger keys for Super Mega Force when Bandai still had the rights, and they would debut
Yeah,
like
then,
a lot of Dragon Ball stuff
or like Funko. They would show off their newest Funkos, like licenses, or like WWE. They would
prototypes. They would do prototypes too.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah, they would like showcase like the next project or something like that, and but yeah, like cosplay repairs. Anybody out there, whoever, if you're in a situation, those cosplay repair people, man, they'll help out. And, that's what they do in the conventions. it helps out. They're very courteous. They'll have what you need, and even if you feel comfortable, it's like, oh my god, I got to go back to my room. It's like, well, if you don't have time, that's what they're there for.
All right,
Yeah.
so real quick, sorry about this, guys. Segue into the shameless promotional ad portion of the podcast. Woo! Today's podcast is actually brought to you by Comic Palooza. That's right, at the Georgia Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. May 26th through the 28th. That's Comic Palooza has guests such as Shiri and Namor from Wakanda Forever. The boys are also going to
Actually,
be there.
that's not Shiri. That's Ironheart.
Oh, my bad.
Oof.
My bad. Look, I didn't have a chance. Okay, I've been busy. I worked, and as soon as I was done working, I had to get everything ready for the podcast. Anyways, we will be there hosting our own anime panels, such as My Hero Academia versus Dragon Ball, and it's over 9,000, a Dragon Ball panel. So far as of right now, we have 2 panels confirmed. We were actually confirmed and announced 3 days after their cutoff date. So we are one of the few groups that had instant responses from them. We're not the only group, but we were one of the few. So we're actually really proud. So go to comicpalooza.com right now to check out their guest lineup, all of their panels. They already announced guest panels. They announced schedules, guest panels. Go to Comic Palooza right now. Get your badges. Remember that the badges at the door, I believe, are $90 to $100. We'll double check that price for you. Georgia Brown at the Georgia Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. I would Uber there. If you're from Houston, I would just Uber there because parking is not going to be fun.
Yeah, or carpool at least.
Carpool, Uber, Fly, Magic Carpet,
Super Speed,
Walk.
Especially Flash cosplayers. Makes sense.
Also, our podcast is brought to you by soap. That's right. Fucking use it.
Deodorant too.
Deodorant too.
Yeah, deodorant. Yeah, look, guys, I get it. We cosplay our like.
We sweat out.
Jace is one of our co-hosts. He's not here. He picked up my King Mexico cosplay, and it weighs 20 pounds.
It's heavy.
Just for part of it. That's not including the steel toe boots, the actual utility belt that I use to carry stuff, the speaker, the water bottles, the shield. This is just the tactical armor version of the cosplay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wear tactical armor because I go to other events as Captain Mexico and I run into issues.
Oh no.
I run into a lot of issues and I've had people...
Unspeakable issues.
Well, I can talk about it. I've had people threaten to shoot me, threaten to stab me, threaten to fight me because I am in Mexico colors.
Wow.
So I have to wear tactical. Like the cosplay, it's EVA foam on the outside, but if you look inside the chest piece, it's tactical. It's Kevlar.
I mean, do what you gotta do. Dang.
That makes a lot of sense, considering the areas and everything in just a high populated city like that.
My man said instant transmission to the convention. So yeah, okay. So
that's true. I mean,
we have to. It's part of our contract. We have to promote Comic Palooza.
No, but we always have a good relationship with Comic Palooza, and we always have a grand old time there.
Oh yeah.
Good for y'all.
And most of us are looking to debut new stuff, like new cons and all. I mean, new cosplays and all that stuff.
I mean, I'm looking to debut a new budget. I want to go to a con where I can actually afford to eat.
Right.
Don't worry, Goku. We got you covered on that.
Hey. Somebody, hold on. I got you. Hold on. In case y'all want to help a brother out.
There you go. Help a brother out. No, but seriously, no. Help a brother out.
Yeah, for real. I'll send screenshots of my bank account. The hacker was like, oof. Anyway, so let's talk about Mini-Con. So let's talk about little Mini-Con just real quick. I just want to get some. So what did you think of the convention? We didn't get a chance to go. We were going to cover it. So I guess this kind of worked out because we did speak to you briefly. We wanted you to come on the show to talk about the con. We were going to cover it last week, but something happened at the Weave Stop event where we had to cover it.
Yeah, some incident happened.
Weave Stop did release a statement on what happened. I'm actually kind of glad that they did because we did give them a time frame. Look, they have until this day to release a statement before we start shitting on them. Not that we want to. We don't want to like pick a fight with them or
No.
start stuff with them, but it's part of their responsibility to acknowledge what happened. So
Yeah.
if you aren't aware of, go ahead and I would just Google incident at Weebstop 2023. We're not going to
or
give it more attention.
or follow. Just go on our Discord. We did post the entire statement.
And we're gonna have a series about it too.
So
Yeah,
we're
pretty much.
we're gonna drop it because there's too many. So we got reports that certain things happened, and then we looked into it. There's no claims. There's no reports. There's no
It's
police.
a little complicated right now, but we're looking to fix it up, and we'll
Right.
let
So
you guys
there's a
know.
lot of actual like we have to actually do a lot of digging right now before we can make like an actual make a
Statement.
story about it. Yeah, because we just covered like basic stuff.
Yeah.
Like we had somebody that was there to tell us what happened, and apparently like some other stuff happened. So we're not sure. So we're just gonna
Yeah,
drop it at that.
I was at JFest this past weekend, and some people did bring it up, and there was some details. It's like, okay, some of them were old, some of them were like new. And it's like, okay, a lot of messages going on right now.
So yeah, like that's we wanted to invite you to the show sooner, but with everything that had happened, we decided to postpone everything. But we're really glad you decided to come on here. Really cool. Like your stuff is definitely amazing. Like your cosplays are amazing. But
Thank
I
you.
do want to talk about mini con. So what can you tell us a little bit about the convention? Because I actually did not have a chance to research the con, so I actually don't know anything about it.
So Minicon, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% sure it's put on by the same group that owns San Japan, and it's
Yep.
it's a free version, so it's free entry.
It's like a precursor.
Yeah, and it's in the Wonderland Mall in San Antonio, and I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the only thing currently keeping that mall running because like a lot of brick and mortar shopping malls, it's kind of hit.
I will say this
spiral.
though. I was there one time, and I just being there, I'm like, is this a mall or is this like a flea market? It feels like a flea market than a mall,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, a lot of the actual stores have left. I mean, that online business is, they put them out of business. There's a lot of game stores that have popped up there.
Mhm.
And I know there's a couple of anime stores as well, which it's good to see them there. And so it's kind of become like this, and it's not like huge, so it's not like the worst thing to walk around. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. I know mall cons get kind of like a bad rep sometimes, but when it's in a mall con and like the mall is dedicated to the con that day,
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine. There were, I think, between 3,000 and 5,000 people there, which is the same as was last
Yeah, it's a
year.
big turnout. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, it better be for being free.
Oh yeah, I brought some friends last year, and they're like, "Oh, there's not going to be anybody here," and they walk in, and they go, "There's so
Whoa.
many people." I mean,
And you said how many, if I may ask again?
between 3 and 5, if not actually over 5 this year, 1,000.
Wow.
5K, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's just as big as a Blue Con in Tennessee.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
like,
even wasn't enough for me to say like, I don't know
That's
about
like
conventions.
it's like Ikkicon as well. Ikkicon, I think, is about 5,000.
Yeah, I was at Icky this year at the new venue they did at the
So was
Kalahari. Oh yeah, see, hey,
Did
small
you
world.
watch the contest there?
Yes, I did see that too.
I was the Hisoka.
Yep, it's amazing. Small world.
Right? It really becomes that way.
It's a small con after.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Boy, flashback from Disneyland last year.
Oh no.
The big difference with Minicon last year to this year is I don't believe there were any like non-main stage panels. I think they were all on the main stage, which is fine because the setup of the mall, I guess, kind of makes it hard to have panel rooms in places where people can locate them. But I mean, you walk into the mall, you've got your dealer's hall on your left and your gaming area on the right. And the dealer's hall is actually spaced out enough that it's not super, super packed. I mean, y'all saw how big that weapon I was walking around with was, and I was able to walk around that mall pretty easily without hitting anybody.
Yeah.
They actually had a huge artist alley this year that spread over multiple floors, which is always good to see because I feel like people Like the artist alley doesn't get enough hype about 90% of the time.
Oh,
Just as important as the dealer's room.
Oh, absolutely. I will tell you a little side story. The first anime Houston, the first time they did it, they actually put like the artist alley like in like a small room in like in the corner of the venue, and it was like really crowded in there. And this was during like obviously people were still wearing masks and all that, trying to
Ugh.
social distance and all that. And it was like, bro, this is not a place to put artists. You should have put this in the gaming floor, not the artist alley.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean-
yeah, I remember that shit.
See?
Yeah.
I thought, man, they should have. Look, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really, really sorry. I know I'm gonna get some hate. I think cons need to start phasing out gaming rooms.
You know,
I kind of agree with that, especially like some people spend their entire weekend at the gaming room. You know what I mean? They would spend like $70 for a badge just to just be there all weekend. I'm like, dude, you could have just done that for free at home.
Well, the
I
reason
mean-
why I say so, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the
Okay.
reason why I say so is because at Anime Houston, the smell was so strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like walking into a brick wall.
Was it this year's or last year's?
It was
Or like the first one? Both. Yeah, the
first
first
one?
one. Yeah, the first one because it was actually at the that hotel over on Beltway, basically near Greenspoint.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where it was, and it was like really looking back, that was not a
Remember,
good.
it was
Yeah.
because it was that year. Remember, we told you like that dude took a crap in the fake plant.
Yeah.
what?
Yep, that
Oh
that
my-
happened. Yep, that did.
Yeah, this dude got like high
Took a
as
took a
shit.
dookie.
He dookied in one of the fake plants, and he's like, "I'm fertilizing it." Like, dude, it's fake.
I mean, back then it was kind of serious, but now looking back, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm glad I could be here to share the moment though. No, it was bad though. Like the smell is bad. I have nothing against gaming rooms. I have nothing against people getting together in the gaming rooms and socializing and gaming together because we don't have that as much nowadays. Retro arcades are coming back, but that's more of an adult thing, and people still kind of keep to themselves.
Yeah, like you see something like, for example, like up in Dallas, they would have like free play arcades and all that stuff. And
Yep,
it's like, see, they have
definitely.
that, but here we don't have.
Definitely
The only
want
thing we have here is like what, Cidercade.
Cider
Yeah,
Cade's here too, but it's not like the only thing, if that makes sense.
Well, down here, it's the only thing.
Dang. That
Yeah, pretty
kinda
much.
sucks.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so like maybe like it's because, and here's the thing, and this is something that I eventually want to talk about in the future, but there are people that will go to a con, they can't afford to eat, they can't afford a hotel room, they're sleeping in their car in the garage. They only have enough money for okay, hey man, I bought a day badge, I'm sleeping in my car. I'm like, dude, like,
Do you want to
I'm
sleep
like,
with us?
do you want to stay with us? No, I'm fine. And then I'll offer to help out because this is somebody I know. I'm like, bro, I can't. You look like a bum. I got to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
This jackass walked into the dealer's room and walked out with a $500 figurine.
Yeah, that's kind of fucky.
And I have nothing against that. Like, okay, you do what you got to do, boo. But like, I told him, bro, even if you don't want to sleep in my room, can you at least like bathe, please?
Dang.
oh, yeah. I
The
mean,
fact you have to ask is one.
yeah. I mean, as far as though back to gaming rooms, it like at Ushicon, you have the D&D gaming room. Those are fun.
Mm-hmm.
D&D is great. What I like about certain gaming rooms, like at Minicon, they had a lot of retro games set up, and that was really cool to see those. There's a retro gaming like store that had a setup there that they were doing like a tournament. And I mean, I love seeing stuff like that. And then at some conventions, you'll find that they have brought like imported Japanese DDR machines. And those are really cool to see because usually you're not going to see one of those, considering they're about $4,000 to $5,000 a piece. And I've seen like imported game cabinets that have Project Diva on them. Those are always really cool. Like I like seeing those.
Yeah.
Is it round one? Don't y'all have round one in Houston? Because we
No,
have
we
round
don't.
one. Okay, because round one up here in the DFW Metroplex has a lot of Japanese games. So I was like,
Yeah,
What?
they
I was
have that, and then
confused.
San Antonio. I think they have a round one in San Antonio recently. They
I
opened one,
think so,
and
but I'm not sure.
then I know the only round one I ever played was in California because Anime Expo. They
Mhm.
had like a whole arcade was sponsored by round one, so basically just basically a round one in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to round one before in the DFW area. Uh,
I would love to go to that.
no, it's actually kind of cool. It's not like I think it's kind of cool. Uh, I'm not like super into like arcade games here in this country are not the same in
Hmm.
Mexico. In
Yeah,
Mexico, they were competitive. You saw
King of
like 20,
Fighters.
yeah, you saw like 20 guys at one arcade
Yeah,
putting pesos down, literal pesos on the machine, ready to throw hands with each other. It was great. I loved it. So, but like, let's talk about the con a little bit. So, just
Yeah.
to like a quick question. So, what are some of the cons of the con, in your opinion?
pros and cons.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I go to conventions for panels
Mhm.
and for the contest, but because I like going to panels, I've hosted a couple panels myself. Well, two of the same one, but a
Hmm.
couple
What
of still is.
what kind of panels have you hosted before?
So I host a panel called, oh gosh, what did I name it?
That's
Oh, building on a budget. Cosplay doesn't have to break the bank. I'm waiting on my whether or not Yumicon's going to let me bring that there. Yeah,
Where have I seen that fucking con at? I mean that panel. I've seen that panel before.
Kawacon
Uh,
or Ushicon.
yeah, I've seen it
Ushiko's
at
birthday?
Ushicon. Yep, I saw
Did
it at
you go
Ushicon.
to Ushiko's birthday?
I'm sorry?
Did you go to Ushiko's birthday?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
Because the only two places I've held it was at Ushiko, the mini Ushikon that was at the hotel in San Marcos,
And
and
that
then
was
at
the
Kawacon.
recent one? That was the recent one?
That was the most recent one, yeah.
Okay. Maybe. I don't
And then
know.
it's at Kawacon. And I know a gentleman by the name of Karsten, did post my panel from Ushiko's birthday on YouTube. So if you want, I can send you the link later.
Nice.
Cool.
You
Um,
know what? I think that's how I think I saw it online.
was a person dressed as Doma doing it?
No, I didn't attend it. Uh
Oh,
so yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. So you
yeah.
okay? So the not breaking the bank. Actually, that's a really good one. I like that.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I mean, because you get a lot of people walking into it seeing like, not to pick on Genshin Impact, but also to pick on Genshin Impact. You have seen how expensive those costumes are.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend cosplays Rosaria, and she's working on another Genshin cosplay.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah, those are,
I could tell you, it's like like if I was in her position, I'd be like, I'd love to, but no way, not on my budget.
No.
I'll have to eat like nothing for a month
they're
if I have
so
to.
detail heavy,
Yeah,
and they have so many laws of physics breaking attributes to the costumes. I'm like, how on? And then you'll see some people manage to pull it off. I'm like, how in the
how the hell
ever
did you do
living
it?
did you manage to pull that off? It's
I've
incredible.
also I've also seen the cosplay AI art looking like someone real, and people are using those as like cosplay profiles. So it's intense. Genshin Impact, cosplays are either you go for the full bodysuit and just be lazy, or you just, try your best to even makeshift anything out of that game. Because it's all, as you said, like, what is it? Break the laws of physics
Yeah.
design.
Um, but yeah, so and that whole thing, like I said, it's about effective places to get fabric to, like, especially fabric is where a lot of people, like, don't go to the fabric store. There's better places. And then like what tools to use, what not to use, the effectiveness of putting more money down on a more effective tool at the start as opposed to wasting money by having to replace the same thing every 5 months. Because when you really get into this, you will be putting some of your power tools through the ringer, and
yeah,
you do not want to have to replace them.
yeah, that's true.
But
I
yes,
was
yeah.
I'm still curious, man. It's bothering the shit out of me.
What?
I've seen either your panel somewhere, like I think I heard somebody talking about it. So I don't know if you're fully aware. but cosplay making 101 panels tend to get a bad rep sometimes.
Yeah.
What?
So there is, and I was talking to somebody that I know who, uh, we're buddies, so they're pretty honest with me anytime I do. They've actually judged me in competitions, and I know when I walk in and see them as a judge, I'm like, oh man, I'm screwed because they will put me through the ringer, prejudging wise, and I appreciate that. They're not going to let me get away with poor craftsmanship. But they've been doing panels for quite a long time, and one thing that I talked about with them is this kind of promoting of a fake economy to where they're like, oh, just buy the costume. And it's like I said earlier with the buying regular clothing because the costume is made from regular clothing and getting more wear out of it because like especially the school uniform ones, most of the anime school uniforms are just based off of actual existing uniforms that you can buy from uniform stores.
Yep.
Just about anywhere. And it's a little more expensive from a uniform store, but they've got some of those uniforms have to last a couple of years. So
Yeah.
they're like that for a reason, as opposed to the cheap stuff. Otherwise, and I mean, some people can just give bad advice.
So the thing was, okay, so I think I figured out where I've heard. So there were some cosplay making 101 panels where, and I've attended one where the person was like mostly advertising, oh, I could do commissions, I do this, I do that. And they were talking more about what they
Themselves.
do to make, yeah, they were talking more about
Oh,
themselves and the brand rather than actually making the cosplay. And I was like, this is horseshit. I'm not doing this crap again. Uh,
Wow, that's sad.
and like this was a thing like a couple years ago, and apparently it's still kind of a thing now, not as much because like people don't realize this. And I don't, am I allowed to say anything?
If you have to question that, don't say anything.
Fuck it. So the cons do watch panelists. They will have somebody go in there and watch you.
panel moderators.
Wow, that's crazy.
They keep track of how many people are in your panel, how you act, how you present yourself. Like the people, are they entertained, or like they check everything out because they determine whether they're going to invite you back next year or not.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know how you feel about, because I'm a panelist too. I've been a panelist since 2009. So in the state of Texas, there are only two groups in this entire, well, that I know of, and that was Airship Nikolai, who the leader of that airship used to be on the podcast for our shit talking podcast, and Geeks Fiber, which is us. We were the only two groups that I'm aware of because we haven't found another group. We had 15 panels apiece at Comic Palooza.
Oh,
15?
that's
a number.
That's right.
That's not even a single digit. That's double digits. Let's just get that out there.
So I am the kind of con goer that if I'm not hosting panels, I'm not happy because
You'll
it
feel
gives me something to do.
You're not satisfied. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
because I've been going to cons since 2007. I've been to more than 300 conventions. I don't like walking around in cosplay anymore and just like exploring. I like to do stuff. I like to help with panels. I like to host panels. I will never volunteer for another convention again. I made that fucking mistake with Akon, and I made that with Anime Matsuri, and I made that mistake again with no, actually, A-Fest, they fed me and got me drunk, so they're cool in my book.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean,
But
I feel
That's
like
a good.
volunteers-
That's a good.
I feel like con volunteers face most of the flack from the attendees compared to the people who actually work there, because you see more of the volunteers than you do the people that tend to work for the con. And so I can imagine that being a volunteer is very stressful.
Absolutely.
like, so you see a lot of the same volunteers. I don't know if you've noticed, but you see a lot of the same volunteers nowadays at like all the conventions. Like,
Oh yeah.
and that's because they get like free shit. They're known. They're trustworthy. That's just how it rolls. And then like panelists, you see a lot of the same panels. Like you see Zeros to Heroes, you see Pixelation, you see Coach and Pixelization are more in the Austin area. Like Geeks Five Ever were more Houston area, and then you have other cosplay groups like where the waifu is, who we're actually really good friends with. Uh, we're we're pretty cool. I've hung out with them before, and then there are other panelists. But I legitimately, there are panels that I do not like. I really don't like, and I don't. I'm sorry if y'all like them, but I don't like the Ask a Cosplayer panels because it's
Oh
usually
yeah.
like teenagers in
What?
cosplay. Well,
So these are basically like, is it like those like in character cosplays?
yeah,
So so basically like I actually went to one a couple like almost 10 years ago when Attack on Titan was like white hot, and all the panel was just a bunch of cosplayers dressed up as characters from Attack on Titan, and they would answer questions in character. And 9 times out of 10, the questions would be like, "Oh, who is you? Would you ship this person with this person?" Like
Uh,
basically very fandom is. And I'm like, okay, this
so
is
yeah,
kind of getting
so
ridiculous.
the issue I have with them is that they ask a lot of sexual
Hmm.
questions, and most of the time the cosplayers on the stage are teenagers,
Yeah.
and you have
wow.
some grown ass adults in the audience that will sometimes ask the questions. Like, oh, would you if you and this character could hook up, what would y'all do to each other? Like, bro,
They're teenagers, dude.
Save that for the 18 plus panel. Come on.
like he's like, you know what and I told like I got in trouble not with the con itself, but like this dude in his group because he was trying to ship two of the characters. Like, oh, he was trying to like get them to do something. I'm like, bro, I'm about to ship my foot in your ass if you don't shut the fuck up.
I mean,
I,
I'm on your side with that one. That's just creepy on a number of levels.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
out myself. The reason why my reactions are very extra is because I only did one con
Hmm.
in the span of 5 years. I mean, Keyblade Sonic knows this like to heart. I've never heard of anything this crazy. Any of these panels,
and
and I'm
that is
very new to
why.
cosplay, so I'm seriously like baby naive. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's
No,
okay.
it's fine.
That
We
yeah,
all
that
start
hap
somewhere.
yeah, exactly. We all start somewhere, and also, there's always that always happens
Like
to a
I
lot
need
of
an
people.
adult hearing some of this stuff.
It,
Woo!
I
it
mean,
it's
honestly, don't ever travel to a convention by yourself. Just
mm-mm.
don't.
Yeah, at
It
least
is a
go with
bad
like a
idea.
group or something.
Oops.
So,
Oops.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, damas y caballeros, here's a public service announcement from your friendly neighborhood Mexican over at Geeks Five Ever. That is right. I'm going to share some wholesomely advice with you because I don't want you to wake up half-ass naked in a parking lot, sticky with your wallet missing. So remember, when you go out, YOLO, but remember, never take an open drink from a stranger. Why? Because you don't know that motherfucker.
Also cover your drink too.
Cover your drinks. You
Don't
protect that.
sniff anything either.
Like, look, man, we were all young. We all went to the bathroom and did questionable things off of somebody's body parts. But you know what? Protect yourself. Be aware of your surroundings. Make sure your friends know where you are. Take a
Hmm.
buddy. The buddy system works.
Yeah.
Don't take drinks from strangers.
Also, if you ever feel uncomfortable, like when you're by yourself and you see like if you need like a group, like for example, like say you're all alone and you're like someone's like following you the whole time, like go to a group and it's like, hey, can you pretend to be like I'm with you guys? And it's like, yeah, yeah, no worries. And then
I've actually
you know,
had that happen.
yeah, like see,
I've been to conventions, and it's more of a large convention thing.
yeah,
And if you are too nervous to walk up to a group of cosplayers, look for security.
hmm,
But if somebody's like actually tailing you, um, most people are going to, especially if you're, because I forget, I think it was at San Japan, and I was standing with a group of people, and somebody did walk up to us very young and said
yeah,
somebody was following them, and we just wouldn't let that guy near this kid because
yeah.
it's weird. And that's why I'm glad places like San Japan, I believe it's San Japan, has a rule that if you are under a certain age, you cannot be with a group of less than a certain amount of people.
Hmm.
Yeah, stranger danger's huge.
Yeah,
Huge
absolutely.
thing.
And like an example, like that happened to me too. Like there was like a group, like some random girl like came to like us group and like a couple of guys. And she was like, "Hey, this guy's following us. Can you like play along?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." Hey, what's and then we would just like pretend like we're in character. Like I was like, "Hey, what's up? You know, you want to come with us and all that?" It's like, "Hey, let's walk you there." And then we were walking away, and the guy walked away from us. And she was like, "Oh, thank you so much." I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. No, we want you, we
It's
want you to
getting
have a safe
pretty
time."
bad out there.
Yeah, and so
It can be,
yeah.
especially we had a run-in fest during New Year's. One of my friends was blackout drunk, and then like I was keeping tabs on her, and then she met this group of guys, and the guy like started coming on to her, and she was so I know she was blackout drunk because she doesn't normally act the way she does when she's sober. And when
Mhm.
I told her what happened, she had no recollection. She had no memory. Like she didn't remember a single thing. Like the guy started kissing her, and I put my hand over his mouth, and I said, "No, she's drunk. Like she stop it. Like look, I've done stuff while intoxicated with other people, but this guy was completely sober, and my friend was blackout,
Yeah.
and
Intoxication does not mean consent.
it doesn't.
Exactly.
It means
Exactly.
the
But
opposite.
yeah, so
Also in regards to that, cosplay is not consent too.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
right. So
Oh my
like there are
god.
some people. Sometimes people will do things. They'll both be on the same level and whatever. Like things happen. Things can happen. But like I literally had to chase. Like, dude, you need to fuck off, dude, because you're pissing me off.
So I've never had like a crazy experience myself. I've been very blessed in that category, but I did hear one of my many close circles. They were dressed as Itachi, and someone ran up to them in another Itachi cosplay and kissed them on the cheek. And I was like, "Whoa, no, I'm not like just because I wear a shirt that means I eat ass does not mean you can just come up to me and just try
Jesus
to
Christ,
like."
she said it out loud. uh,
But
Yeah, but
I
yeah, it's true. And unfortunately, there's people who like they would do it like without even asking. They don't like provide something. It's like, "Hey, can we do this thing?" It's like, especially if they do it like for like a skit like online, they would just post it online for some shit. Like, because there's like a lot of like cosplayers who like just do it just for like they do all these skits to people like without even telling them or anything like that.
yeah.
There was a like a well-known cosplayer. He would do like the skit with like Demon Slayer cosplayers,
Oh, I know who
and
you mean.
yeah, you know who
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. And he got a lot of flack for it, which rightfully so, because like these two people, did you at least ask them to be a part of it? Like they didn't look like they were asked.
bro, it
Um,
happens to everyone. It happens to
mhm,
guys, not just girls. It happens to guys. It can happen to guys too, man.
mhm.
This Goten cosplayer like just kept following me because he like, oh, you're the Goku, and like you love Dragon Ball. I'm like, yeah, that's. Can I help you? I'm gonna go get food. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah.
So he started following us. I'm like, "Oh, I guess you can hang out, whatever." And so he starts like getting closer and closer, and then he grabs my hand. And he's all like, "By the way, I'm bi." I'm like, "Good for you, mother."
Yeah,
He
that's
brought
cool to
out
know,
the
dude.
hood in me, like, bro. I went straight up ghetto on him. I'm like, "You better let my hand go."
oh my goodness, no, that's not sane. I mean, pun
Yeah.
intended.
I told him like, "Good for you, man. Good for you. You want a cookie, but you don't grab my hand." He's like, "Oh, but if I was a girl, you would let me, right?" I'm like, "Hell
No,
no." I'm like, "I don't know you. I
that's
don't know."
so crazy.
Like, just because
Yeah.
you're a girl doesn't mean I'm
My,
gonna let you touch, like, grab my hand too. Like,
I would say the cosplay thing has been safe, but when I go to raves, it's a completely other
okay,
topic.
so yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
different topic for.
Yeah, it's a
You're
different
not allowed
story.
to call them raves anymore, by the way. You can't call them raves.
At
You
cons,
get cosplay raves?
Yeah, so they're not supposed to call them raves at the conventions.
they're just called 18 plus dance parties.
Yeah, have you
Is
ever
that
noticed
where we met? Keyplates on it because that's where we initially met. It was at Numbers, and it was a cosplay
dance party?
dance party,
Yeah, it was a dance party, but it was like okay,
and that was
well
in
we
2014, 2013,
nah, that was 2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
so this is the first time we met like face to face, but like online we know each other longer than that beforehand. But
K-pop
yeah,
dance.
yeah, I was there that year too. I was
yeah, you were like like a banana or something, or someone.
no,
I think who
that was
cosplayed as-
Eric.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was cosplaying as a banana.
So, like, they're not
Amazing.
allowed to call them raves anymore because it has to do with insurance. It has to do with the venue.
Yeah.
Raves insinuate the drugs are involved, alcohol's
Yeah.
involved.
Mhm.
And dances like that's more wholesome, even though you know for a fucking fact that drugs and alcohol are still going to be involved. But
Yeah.
rave
Yeah.
is like an open invitation to it.
Wow.
That's why if you ever look at a schedule, they say dance.
Hmm. You would think it's a formal, but sometimes if there's a formal and a rave at the same time, they'll just say formal dance or masquerade on one of the
Yeah.
dance, and the other one just say 18 plus dance party.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to actual raves, so it's good to know whenever I transition
Yeah,
to
but
the leave side.
some cons they'll say it anyway. So for example, Colossal Con, they do have like a 21 plus a dance party at the water park. It's called Rave at the Waves,
Okay.
so they could
Yes.
say it. So it makes sense. It's actually really fun. I actually had a
Or
great
if you're
time.
like anime monster, you just don't give a shit. You just call it the rave.
Yeah, they'll just say whatever the fuck they want.
That's
I,
insane.
actually, they don't call it the rave. They call it something else. Club AM. That's what
The
they call
Club
it.
AM, yeah, basically it's a rave.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, if you were to give mini con, you said it's a mall con. They don't. So there's not a lot of variety when it comes to panels because panels are a big thing for you. Like for me, they're a big thing
Yeah.
too. Panels can make people don't realize, but panels can make or break a con because
Oh, yeah.
What
without
else is there?
panels, yeah. What else is there? Like people don't want to admit this, but conventions are just glorified flea markets in
They
costume.
are. They are.
Oh yeah. So what rating would I give Mini Con?
Out of
Yes,
10.
and yeah, in a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, one being
Doo doo.
dash con.
Try to
Yeah.
sell me minicon, I guess, because I'm
10 out of
new at
10.
this.
The only problem I had was the escalators kept breaking, but that's every convention.
Yeah, and also like you said, Wonderland of the Americas is like pretty like run down in a bit. Like
Well,
obviously.
it's actually, and I think it may be because of Minicon growing in popularity every year. I mean, it's a good venue for it to be in because you don't have the phenomenon of con food. There's just a food court, and like
Yeah.
you're paying food court prices for food, which is great.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
should have more seating in the food court, but that's everywhere. I mean, I see a lot of the people I'm friends with. I run into dealers I see all the time. The contest is a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And I think if you have never been to a convention before and you want to see what a bigger one is kind of like,
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it. I mean, it's free. I consider it relatively safe.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
There's plenty of security guards around, but yeah,
What would you give it? What are you giving it?
9 out of 10.
Okay.
The only problem I had this year was the escalators kept breaking.
Mhm.
And the only problem last year was they held it in May and it was like 90 degrees outside. But it was in April this year, so it was actually cooler. And so the air conditioners worked.
Yeah. Also, like for those who like never been to a con hall, like to get an idea what it's like, that's a good one to go to.
It is.
It's like the small ones, always start off small because if you go to the big ones, like first on, you'll be like, oh my god, you'll be like a lot of stuff be
It's
happening.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it'll be overwhelming,
Do
and
not
then
go to San Japan as your first con. Please don't do that to yourself.
ironically, that was actually my first con ever. Was San Japan in 2013, 10 years ago.
Well, San Japan was so much smaller 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's true. And then like it got bigger and bigger, and then to what it is
They're
now.
about to actually, from what I can tell, they're almost over capacity at the Henry B.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
crazy.
There's so many, and I went the year that they had to cut it in half.
Yeah.
And there were still over 12,000 people in that building.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was there in 21, and it's like it reminded me a lot of like PAX South in a way. I don't know why I had like vibes from PAX South, like how crowded it got. Like,
were you there the year that To Regular Sauce won Best in Show? The Springtrap cosplayer?
Yes, I was there.
Okay, cool. I was in that contest as well.
Which year was that?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago. That Springtrap was incredible.
Oh, he's so cool. He actually got hired by Steel Wool Studios,
That's
the company
amazing.
making the movie.
That's
I'm so
awesome.
happy for him.
Yeah,
Like,
especially
he's so nice.
And based on the sets and like the stuff that came out, the behind the scenes stuff in the movie, I'm like, wow, this actually looks really good so far. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And this is someone who's not a Five Nights at Freddy's guy, and like for me, like I know about it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But seeing it, I'm like, okay, wow, this is amazing. This is incredible.
Yeah. And for those of you who have never seen his stuff, the best way I can describe it is in pictures with him, you would think somebody ripped the model out of the game and photoshopped it in. Like he looks like he walked out of the game.
It's like movie quality.
It's incredible. And he's
Oh,
like
wow.
canon height and everything. Like his suits are 8 feet tall. They got the smoke emitters, the eyes blink. It's incredible.
Yeah, you gotta be an engineer for those cosplays for sure.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
greatest cosplay, in my opinion, is, and it still holds up to this day, Anime Central 2009. It's when the guy came on stage and cosplayed Optimus Prime, and he had to be on stilts because he was like 10, like 9, 10 feet tall.
Oh, I
And
feel like I have seen a video of that.
he wasn't in the competition because it was so massive. They had to judge him and everything before the contest started, so he didn't get to go on stage.
Yeah.
And when he accepted his award, he only had a part of the costume in his hand.
Yeah, there was a Groot
Wow.
that did that one year. I don't think they were in Texas, but they were the full height of Groot from the movie. And
Yeah.
I don't think they could actually walk on the stage. There are some cons that actually don't let you compete if your costume prohibits you from walking up onto the stage.
Yeah.
So Akon almost
It's a safety
disqualified
thing.
me for Megazord because I could barely lift my legs because if you notice, it covers up my knees completely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could barely lift my legs, so I really couldn't get on the stage, and so they almost just kicked me out of the competition.
Yeah. Also, there's some conventions, some cosplay contests. They don't allow like LED lights or like any effects
What?
on your
Uh,
cosplay, which is like okay, I understand like
It's
stage
flashing
reasons.
lights and smoke screens usually. Anything that could potentially cause harm to somebody else. A lot of what people would consider weirder rules are purely for safety. Like it's different if you're in like a Gundam cosplay that stops you from walking properly because that becomes a safety hazard. A lot of times with conventions you're walking upstairs in the back. If it's like an ADA thing, so like you would need a mobility aid. That is completely different and that does not stop you from being in a competition. Like WeebCon, actually there's a chairlift behind the stage for that express purpose. It's probably more for lifting really heavy furniture like pianos onto the stage, but you can use it.
It's very
And they also
convenient.
have a ramp in the back. So, yeah, if you hear people like, "Oh, if this costume doesn't let you walk," that if you have a mobility aid or need a wheelchair, that does not necessarily apply to you.
Yeah.
That's also something they judge on is your ability to move around in the costume. Because a lot of judges just don't. They're called statue costumes, where it looks really cool, but you can't move in it. So, like, what is the point of even putting it on? Just like prop it up on a dress form and let people look at it, because it really wouldn't be any different. Like, they look really, really cool, but
Yeah.
like I have one that I barely managed to make it into the convention with. I can send it real quick, but I had to have 2 handlers for this one because of how big it was.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. So like, I had 2 handlers.
This one.
So at Akon, when I wore Megazord, I had two handlers with me, and that weekend that I wore Megazord, I did not like any Homestuck cosplayers from that point forward
I'm
because
sorry.
one of them ran into me and ripped my shoulder off.
No.
Oh my
And
And
they
then
didn't even apologize.
and I called him out. I'm like, "Hey, asshole!" And then he looked at me, and then he looked at what he did, and then he just walked off. And I'm like, "All right." And I said something to him. I'm not gonna, even though we're a mature audience podcast, I'm not gonna say it on here. Just,
Oh, oops.
but yeah, I said something to him that I was like, "Piece of shit," and then the guy just like he was being a dick about it, and like I hate that shit because like somebody had to super glue the shoulder back on.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people just have no regards for like other people's stuff. You know, sometimes, like for example, like if you're doing like a big thing like that, like a stilts or like a giant like armor and stuff, and then people want to take a picture of you. And this usually happens for like people who don't like know about cosplay or like pretty much like outside of the con thing. They will like grab your stuff and like grab you on or something like that, and sometimes you won't feel comfortable with it.
Hey, there it is.
Say that's a good one. Like for example, like I'm using this
6
as
feet wide.
yeah, using your photo as an example. Like say they grab like the cape part, you know, even though uh, sometimes they would just be like that, and they don't like have no regards for
Too touchy feely.
Yeah. The only
Dude.
time I've ever actually had somebody outright grab a piece of my costume was a very, very young child, and they just wanted to feel the fabric. And you know what? They didn't break anything,
Yeah, so that's
and they
fine.
were like 5, so I can't be mad at them.
Yeah.
Like, it's different when it's a fully grown adult. I did get run into by 2 people, and they saw me coming. They heard security yelling at them to get out of the way, and they still walked directly into the one side, and they immediately got escorted out by security. That
Hell
had told
yeah,
them
I
to
would have
get out of
kicked
the
them
way.
out too. I would have kicked them out too. Because that's a dick move. You don't do that shit. And
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
no respect.
Don't ignore security.
I really, like I said, your shit is really good. Like, it's
Thank you.
amazing. So we did give Mini Con a 9 out of 10. So that's really good. That puts us at high hopes this year, because we do have several conventions that we're going to this year. Is there any more conventions that you're going to, that anyone that, like, that's interested in, like saying hi or following you, or?
So I'm going to be at Anime South Texas at
Okay.
Rolling Oaks Mall. It's on May 27th and 28th. I'm for sure going to be at that one. It's another free one. I've never been before, but I'm going to be dressed as Gyutaro, at least on Saturday.
Oh,
Don't
that's
know what I'm going to wear Sunday.
in San Antonio, correct? Or
Correct.
okay.
I'm going to try to make it to YumiCon. I don't know after that. I know I am. The plan is to make it to Holiday Matsuri to compete this year.
Oh, Hallmat is really good from what I've heard.
Yes, I was told at WeebCon that I have what it takes to try out for the international contests, and so
the world cosplay summit.
That is what they said. Yes, I'm a little nervous to try something that high level, because when you're getting to the World Summit, you're talking people who've been cosplaying for 15 to 20 years, if not longer. And like, I've been judged by people who have made it to the World Summit. Like, one of them made it 14 times, and she currently works for a movie studio as a costume director. So that is the level of, like, skill that you're up against. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
Like, even at WeebCon, I mean, I was up against somebody who'd been cosplaying for 2 decades. And I'm here at 5. So it's, like, when you get to the higher levels, like, you will see people who have been in the game for a while. And that is the thing about the skill level thing, is when you hit masters like I have, you've hit a glass ceiling, because the only thing above that is professional. And once you go professional, you can't compete with regular people anymore. Like, it's not allowed.
Yeah, aren't you disqualified from competing anymore? Period. At that point.
So if you go professional, like, as if you're a full-time cosplayer, or you work in an industry that gives you access to materials that a regular person would not normally be able to get to, that's considered a massively unfair advantage. Like, if you're out here getting brand deals, or you're working as, like, a character model for a game company, you are not allowed to compete.
They don't. There's also OnlyFans professional.
That's different.
But
I think
I'm just.
if you make more than 75% of your total income from cosplay, you are not allowed to compete anymore.
Yeah, if
you can go to Hallmat for sure, but, like, regular ones, nah.
Yeah, they're starting to add those kind of rules now.
We're trying to promote our website. It's a brand new one. It's like OnlyFans, but it's called OnlyHands. It's for fighting. We'll meet at a Waffle House parking lot at 3 in the morning.
To be fair, that sounds like a wrestling pay-per-view.
OnlyHands?
OnlyHands sounds like sounds like an MMA thing.
So okay, so all right, we're gonna start wrapping up. So okay, so man, I had something important to say, but I completely forgot what it was.
Can I ask, like, one more question though? For anybody, what would advice you would give to people who would, like? I know it's like the most cliched question, but obviously we always want to ask, like, what would advice you would give to somebody who wants, like, start up on cosplay, whether they just started or, like, they're, like, a year or 2 ahead and they want to compete, like, in contests, or they want to, like, be in, like, in a showcase? Like, what would you tell them, like, ahead of time? Like, what would you say to them? Okay, this is something I could give you.
the silly part of me wants to say just do it.
Mhm.
But honestly, and this is coming from somebody who I've had costume malfunctions right before going on stage. I've had a costume break apart completely after going on stage. You have to understand that you won't win every single costume contest, and that's okay.
Hmm.
If you start competing and the only thing you care about is winning, you've kind of lost sight of, like, most of us are not there just to win. We're there
Mhm.
because, hey, our friends are here. This is fun. We get to show off our skills.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it's okay that your costume isn't perfect. That's fine.
Mhm.
Like, every mistake you make should be a learning experience. And then, probably my biggest advice for people who are competing, don't be a jerk backstage. That
Yeah.
that outright costs people awards. The judges are made aware of your conduct backstage, and if you are being rude to people, you won't get an award. If you are a sore winner afterwards, you may lose an award. Like, just be nice to people. Like, we're all, let's be real, we're all nerds in costumes who probably spend way too much money on this hobby. None of us are like better than anybody else. Like, we're all just people. We're all putting forth our best effort. And like, if even if you don't win, like, maybe next time, don't give up. I mean, I've been to dozens of contests by this point, and I don't win every single one. And I'm fine with that. I mean, I love seeing other people win. I love it when my friends win. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, but that there are legitimately people that go to the competitions and like that's like you said that like that's all they care about. Like I know people that cosplay only for the contest and like the attention and like the awards and the money and the spot. Like, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with cosplaying for a little attention. Obviously, some of us do it. Like, hey, hopefully
Yeah.
somebody recognizes me and like I go to the club and cosplay. You've got to be shitting me. I will go in my Mexico garb just so people can buy me beer and tequila, and it
That's
works.
hilarious. I mean, I will not act like I don't somewhat do this for attention. Like, I want people to see my stuff. I do like winning. Is it kind of disappointing when you tried really, really hard and you didn't? Yeah, but there's no point in like acting like a total jerk about it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Also, for those of you who have never cosplayed, been in a contest, unless you are Yaya Han herself, you are not breaking even on that costume.
Oof, I have a story with
It
that.
ain't gonna happen.
Oof.
It ain't gonna happen.
I the first time I met Yaya Han, I think I pissed her off because I did not know who she was, and I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I was just like, she was like, she like kind of like she asked my friend, like my friend got an autograph, and then I didn't even go to her booth. I just happened to walk by it, and she kind of solicited her autograph towards me. And I was like, no, I really don't know who you are. Like, I mean, why? I mean, I don't know. I don't know you. I've never heard of you. Why?
I
I
can
mean,
see
I
how
was
that
trying
might
to
stink
like
a bit.
it stung, but like okay, let me put it
But
like
it,
this.
yeah, it's not like top tier what you know.
Yeah,
At that point, I sounded like an owl. I was like, who, who, who is this?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not your fault. I mean, not
yeah.
not everyone's gonna know, a cosplayer like that. Even
What?
I'm like new to cosplaying, and I barely know any professionals. I barely even know, if it weren't for Keyblade Sonic here, I would practically know nothing. And
Right.
I'm
I mean,
into weeb
it's not
stuff.
just Yaya Han though. Like the first time I met Alice in Chains, I didn't know who the hell they were.
Oh yeah, and you end up meeting the.
I ended up drinking with them. That's so crazy.
Oh, that's
Turns out,
hilarious.
it turns out they're Dragon Ball fans because I remember how I go to the club in cosplay. So I went one day as Goku, and they called me to the back, and it was empty in the back area. And they're like, "We're all drinking. They're buying drinks for me." And the guy's like, "Hey, we gotta go perform real quick, but we'll come right back. We'll take more shots. Don't go anywhere, Goku." Like, and this was the lead singer saying it, and they announced them as Alice in Chains, and I had no clue because I had heard of the band. I didn't know that the lead singer was a guy because it's called Alice in Chains. So I assumed it was a girl
Oh,
because I had never heard their music or anything, and I felt so stupid like afterwards because I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude, I didn't know you were famous. And the guy's like, yeah, man, apparently I don't know, apparently we are. People buy our stuff. I don't. And he's like, whatever. I love them, but I didn't. He, like the guy was just like so humble about it. It was awesome. I
Yeah,
loved
like
it.
that's like the great thing. Like they weren't pretentious on who they are, and that to me, like as a cosplayer, like that's pretty pretentious to be like, oh, I'm supposed to know who you are right off the bat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're sitting directly under the giant sign with your name on it, you really shouldn't expect people to know who you are.
Yeah, and it's really it kind of puts a bad taste hearing someone so pretentious that they get ugly about like, oh, I'm supposed to ask for your signature. Like what? Excuse me.
Yeah,
Maybe I
so
don't have money for your signature.
and it's happened to us. Like people have approached us and like, hey, we know who you are. And I was like, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry.
I feel that. I feel that.
I've had that. I've been backstage and they go, and I've introduced myself with my stage name. Like, oh yeah, I've heard of you. I'm like, oh no,
So
what happened?
I was at Allcon in Dallas, and I went as a T-Rex, and nobody batted an eye at me because there's so many T-Rexes.
Yeah.
So I was like, nobody cares. I'm gonna go ahead and change. I put on my poncho and sombrero, and like 10 people circled me, and like this one dude, he's a cosplay model. He's like man pretty, six pack, everything. Like I'm talking
Oh.
about like
Pretty
holy
boy in
crap.
the
Yeah,
man.
he's like very, very.
So
And
Soju,
he
Soji.
comes up to me and he's like, bro, I know you. I'm like, do I owe you money? And he's like, bro, you're an inspiration. You have inspired me. I'm so sorry. Because at that time, I'm like, what did I inspire you to be? An alcoholic? Jesus Christ.
It's like, did I do this? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Like, I felt so bad. I'm like, if you've made any poor decisions, apparently they're my fault now. Because this guy is like Leon Churro level cosplay model.
Oh.
And he's talking about how, like, I'm his hero and inspiration. I'm like, Jesus, dude, what the hell? I'm just a Mexican.
I had something similar
Ooh.
happen with a judge once. I didn't realize that the judge followed me on Instagram
Oh, wow.
until
That's
I
cool.
looked him up and went, "Oh, hey, I've spoken to this person before." Now, I've never been called anybody's inspiration, I don't think, but I have been called people's comfort cosplayer, and I thought that was sweet.
You
That's awesome,
are
yeah.
an inspiration, though. Like, look, and we're wrapping up, but look
Yeah.
at this. Look at this. This,
It's
like,
incredible.
you cannot tell me that those glasses. I know you wear glasses because you have to, but to me, it's part of the cosplay. Like, it looks legitimately like you kind of look like Lydia, by the way, here from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's the red,
It's
what it is.
It's the color palette.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like it legit, like you did such a good job of covering it up, especially like for someone like me that's not very full aware of the character because I know of Alice from Alice Madness, the game that was on the PS3.
Madness.
I know, but the
Yeah.
dress I remember seeing her in was like blue and white.
Yeah.
So like these are amazing. Like you did a really good. Like you're an inspiration whether you realize it or not. Like this is really cool. Like actually, I'm
Thank you.
really big. This kind of looks like a Gundam actually.
I get a lot of, are you a Power Ranger? Are you a Gundam when I'm dressed as Mettaton? And
Yeah.
that costume right there is the fourth one that I ever made.
Like,
So
mental question.
That's
the-
incredible for a
The
fourth
cape, the cape part, those
Yeah.
actually look like the wings of one of the mechs from Code Geass.
You know what? No lie.
It does now that you say it.
one. It looks incredible though. It looks
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Because if you watch Code Geass, their energy wings that come out are shaped like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the character in this form does take a lot of inspiration from mecha anime.
Well,
And so
it
that's
could.
probably why.
You might be right because in the manga they don't use mechs. It's a Power Ranger suit. Like they don't. Oh, the mechs is only for the anime, but in the manga it's more military and Power. It's
Code
more of a
Geass,
Power.
right?
Yeah, Code Geass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like so the mechs, they're actually like suits that they wear that they're not Power Rangers, but it makes it seem like they're Power Rangers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what's really cool, and that could actually be a direct inspiration from that.
It probably is. Toby Fox, the guy who made Undertale, he makes a lot of pop culture references in that game.
Yeah, so many of them. It's like even
Insane.
even in a sequel game like Deltarune.
It's
All
hilarious.
right. So we have completely gone over our time.
I'm sorry.
So no, you're good. Like we could spend an hour and a half to watch 60 minutes. So we this was like I really want to say thank you for coming on the show. Like I definitely would like to have you back on, especially one of like
Absolutely.
the more serious topics.
Mhm.
Because we just so for those of you that are like still watching, because we have our live audience, we have our like post live audience, because this goes into our live section on YouTube. We're doing a new podcast called The Dark Side of the Community, where it talks about a lot of the issues that the community faces. And one of them, our very first episode, is called The Chronicles of the Wonderland Made Cafe, which a lot of people have come forward to talk about how toxic this group really is.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, one of the things that we have been approached about is a certain convention that's been like getting some bad rep as of late. We are still like researching that. We're still trying to get like gather up because we can't just take someone's word for it. Because we had somebody come on the show and slander a convention, and the convention took her to court, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they took our show as evidence. So people have been asking, you should talk about this. This person posted all this horrible things about the con. Yeah, but like we need account witnesses. We need all kinds of. We have to actually investigate it
Yeah.
so we don't get taken to court too. So it's not just something we can just freely talk about, especially now that the convention has actually released a statement. But nonetheless, there are some serious topics. Like we talk about everything: creepers. We're talking about pedophiles because that's a big thing in this community. Like people
Yeah.
aren't talking about it. People are just kind of shoving it under the fucking rug. But there's a con owner in the East Coast who had a panel and they were stripping in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds.
No.
And there
Yes.
are yes,
Unfortunately.
and we're not kidding. There are police reports, like there are actual police reports of him. We don't want to. Okay, so he has raped some his victims. He's raped his victims, and there are actual police reports that go into detail. And
That is horrific.
so he's taken a bunch of podcasters and journalists to court for slander. Fortunately for us, we only report the facts. If it's not public knowledge, we don't talk about it. Some of the other shows that talk about him, they have like badmouth this person, like he's like this, he's like that, without any actual proof. But that's what dark side of the community is going to cover. Like we're going to cover this stuff. Like it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do this because it's not going to be like this show where we're telling jokes and having fun with it. It's going to be
Yeah.
completely serious, and these are like real issues that we face as a community
And that
that a
needs to be
lot of
addressed.
people, right, a lot of people don't want to talk about them because, like my personal experience with anime matsuri, this is something that actually happened to us. Was the
And we,
Nazi thing that they had
yeah,
in 2018?
we bring it up a lot, and people are like, "Oh, don't you get tired of it?" But we're gonna like, I know it sounds like a dead horse, but this is something that has to be addressed. I don't know if that's the word to describe it.
More awareness is better for the con and to be safe and to be courteous.
Right, and there are people that troll the convention to troll the con. So there are people that go and fuck with the con that we don't agree with as well, like the baby guy who made all the TikTok videos going to the anime matsuri filming. The baby's here, the baby's here. First off, I didn't know who he was talking about, so I had never heard of that person. But apparently, he got into one of the dressing rooms where the girls were changing for one of the events, and that's a big no-no. You don't do that shit.
Yeah. What the hell?
People are really trying to push things and make it really bad look on the con when it's really just the person themselves.
All that for clout and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and plug our social media. So for Eggcosplays, their Instagram is in the description for the video. Make sure you check them out at Eggcosplays on Instagram, and they will be coming to a convention near
I'm
you.
sorry. My Instagram's not listed as Eggcosplays. It's something
what is
different.
it?
My TikTok is Eggcosplays though.
Oh, okay. Well, I got the. I actually have it I have the
Okay.
link from your page. I didn't do it like a. It's a link. It's a link because I got it
Okay.
directly
Okay.
from
My
the.
bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, check out the TikTok. So egg egg cosplays are as an Instagram as they are called. Uh, I just had you up. What happened? How do you say it?
It's
Pickle
supposed to say
fancy.
fickle fancy. I've been trying to change it, but it won't let me.
Uh, no, I like the number. Actually, some people are using numbers for their name. So Fickle Fancy on Instagram. That's right. Go make sure you go and follow our reigning, defending, undisputed cosplay universal champion of the world, Pickle Fancy Egg Cosplays. You got to put the. I have my hand up. You can't see it, but I got the one up.
Jazz hands.
There you go.
Acknowledge.
There you go.
Acknowledge.
We the ones.
Go ahead and plug your social media real quick, Sonic, so we can wrap it up.
All right. Just follow me on Instagram at Super Saiyan Sonic. I am also on YouTube, Keyblade Sonic. Actually, before the show started, I'm actually editing my next video, so I'm actually looking forward to uploading it. And follow me on the socials and follow me on Discord here. We follow us here because we have a lot. This we don't call it the summer of G5E for nothing. So we're
Yeah, we got
looking forward to what we're gonna have in the future, and we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be really exciting times.
We have an actual boxer / MMA fighter coming on the show.
So, there you go.
All right. Yeah. So short stack. Please promote your social media.
Drop
Hi,
your
I'm
stuff.
short. Yeah, I'm short stack under the attack, and I hope you want me back. Yeah, so I'm an upcoming rapper cosplayer. So follow me with the short stack with a O or not O instead of a zero. And
you realize that you have to come back because your interview
I know.
is on the 22nd.
We can hope you want me back. This is the hope.
All right, and for those of you that aren't aware, that's right. We have a brand new podcast coming up. It's called Dark Side of the Community. It will actually we're going to start recording it this Wednesday, but the episodes will not debut until June. They will come out once a week, every Wednesday, exclusively on YouTube. If you haven't already followed us on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, the Book of Face, the Tweeter of the Birds, the Hub of the Porn, or the fiction of the fans. Actually,
the gram of the instant.
The grams of the instance. We're not on Pornhub. That's a joke we keep running. So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, we're on I feel like YouTube. So little by little we're phasing out Facebook so that at the end of this year the podcast will no longer be on Facebook. It will be exclusive to Twitch and YouTube.
So please follow us on those socials because, like I said, you may miss a week and you'll be questioning out there, hey, where's the podcast? Are you guys doing it? I'm like, yes, we are, but not on Facebook.
Yeah, and once it's available for Instagram, we will move it to Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, so next week our guest for it's
next week's show.
Yes, it's Mr. Gramillion. He's the voice of Zoro from One Piece and the gentle criminal from My Hero Academia. He's gonna be coming on the show to talk shit, share with us, and talk about voice acting. So that's gonna be a great show. And we actually do have a guest for the Comic Palooza review. And then after Gramillion, it is going to be Short Stack on the 22nd, right before
our go home show to Compalooza.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be our go home show, I believe. So we have a very stacked month.
Yeah, May and June.
Emphasis on the stack.
On the stacks.
Yeah. It's not short, long stacked.
All right, guys, remember, don't be all right, guys, stay classy, take care, be safe, don't be a meanie, wash your weenie.
See y'all next week.
Bye. Thank you guys for having me on. Bye-bye.
Take care.